Hello everyone, and welcome to the AsiaFortress Cup Season 14 Division 1 Grand Final between Xiao and the Chess Foundation. We're on TF Live here, and we are in for a banger of a final, I believe. But I am Peter, I'm joined by Wiethoofd on production, and Killed himself is going to join me in the co-casting chair. How are you doing today?
Alright, really good. Like you said, this is this is the AFC 14 Division 1 Grand Finals, the absolute zenith of Asian TF2, with perennial finalists TCF and xiao once again battling it out for that gold medal, right? The cause of these two teams actually have been clashing and battling for supremacy for 3 seasons now. These two teams have always made it to the grand final, and xiao has always come on top. But that doesn't mean that TCF doesn't have a fighting chance, or that this won't be an exciting and action-packed match. So
you know what they say, right?
Yeah.
4th time's the charm. Boom.
This is actually the 3rd time. Might have said it wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, these two teams have a really long history fighting it out against each other, and most recently in the upper bracket final where these two teams clashed, there were doubts regarding the xiao roster because they lost 2 of their crucial core players in Roma Cloverella and Demoman Cuteman, and they've had to move Star Medic and Soldier Hirasaki to Demoman and Tommy the Scout to Medic. They even dropped Peps in the regular season, but in the end, they didn't drop a single round to TCF in the upper bracket final, managing to 2-0 them very handily, didn't drop a single round, and while TCF did crumble slightly, the players of xiao all stepped up with star performances by Scout Aishu and Frishi, both of which have played at the highest level of AsiaFortress in AsiaFortress Prem, by the way, and veteran Pocket Soldier 26. These guys are really talented, every single one of them has won AsiaFortress before, and they are absolutely the favourites coming into this match. That being said, TCF on the other hand, they're also filled to the brim with talented and intelligent players. These guys, they've been scrimming and working hard for seasons now, and it shows in how they've always made it to the grand finals, regardless of who else is coming up to challenge them. I am biased. I was on TCF last season, but I do think that they are really good at what they do, and the individual skills of the players really do match up to xiao. But of course, everyone knows individual skill doesn't matter as much as team play and chemistry and how these players interact with each other. It's not size that matters, it's how you use it. Thus, I do think the game really boils down to the intangibles. How they coordinate DM fights, who's main calling, the chemistry between the teams, stuff like this.
Yeah, do you know who's actually main calling for both teams?
Well, in general for xiao, in the past they actually had their Roma Cloverella main calling in a sort of way. Right now, in general, it's generally the scouts of Aishu and Frishi, especially because they've had tons of AsiaFortress experience. Aishu was actually just in the grand finals of Prem a few days ago on Xenophobia. He lost to Jasmine T, but that just shows how, even with 100 plus ping, he can still perform at the highest levels of AsiaFortress, and Frishi too, to a large extent. And so the scouts are really main calling for the side of xiao, and their experience really shines through in how clean the pushes are of xiao and how handily they manage to coordinate and group up with each other. On the other hand of TCF, it's actually more of a mixed bag, because I was the one main calling for TCF last season, and in my absence, there isn't really a clear-cut leadership figure or main caller for them. It's more of a group committee effort. And while that has its strengths, I think in the upper bracket finals for viewers who saw, you could have noticed that there was some indecision, there was some hesitancy in their plays that resulted in them getting 3-0'd on both maps on product and process, and thus not even getting a single round in the entire upper bracket final. So really, I'm really unsure of how TCF has adapted and changed their gameplay since then. They did manage to win the lower bracket final pretty handily, also 2-0'ing the opposition there. And they did change their Roma. Yeah. So it's going to be a pretty even match, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to just quickly point out that the roster, there's on the scout, it's going to be Banana and there's a guy named Killer, and your name is Killed. Did you get cut for a guy named Killer?
Oh no, actually we were on the same team last season. We were playing concurrently last season.
That must have been confusing.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, let's move on to the maps though, because we do have some picks and bans, and the way it worked was that both got a map pick or a map ban each, and then they would pick in somewhat order. So let's look at that, shall we? So we can see that initially xiao banned Snakewater, and then TCF banned Product. And why do you think that these two maps were banned?
Well, on the side of TCF, it's pretty obvious. Xiao 3-0 TCF on product in the previous upper bracket final. Based off of that, such a dominant performance, especially from the scouts of Aisho and Frishi. From what I remember, I think Aisho got about 400 DPM on that map in the upper bracket final, which is really insane. Such insane production. So I think it's pretty clear cut. As for Xiao, I think they're pretty dominant on every map generally based off of the opposition. Probably just going off of comfort. There's nothing much to say. They've had a winning record on every map since their inception. This season, they looked pretty dominant throughout. I don't think there's that much of a reason as to why they banned this map in particular. So yeah, that's about it.
Alright, yeah, Snakeball is a pretty standard map, but then they do pick the most standard of all maps, which is Process. And then Xiao just enters right back with picking the other super standard map, which is Gullywash. But then, probably more interestingly, we see Xiao picking Sunshine. So what are your thoughts on those first three picks there? Maybe Sunshine more than anything.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really been following the season to such a great extent. The first two map picks are pretty similar in the sense that, as you said, they're very standard maps. Both teams have a pretty even chance of playing it out and maybe getting a win. Sunshine is sort of special in the sense that it's not really played in Asia or around the world to begin with. It has been in our map pool for a while, so teams really have gotten used to it. I guess if I had to say, it's sort of similar to Process, and the reason why Xiao picks it is that they've always had the upper hand on Process, so I do think it's actually kind of weird that TCF were the ones who picked Process to begin with, because this was the map that they lost 3-0 to not like just 2 weeks ago. So it's kind of an odd pick, but they have been scrimming very religiously in the past 2 weeks. Both teams have really been putting the hours in, so there have been adaptations made. I've played against them in mixers and stuff, so yeah.
Yeah, and then we have, of course, ProLands and Granary Pro being picked as the two last maps. And I believe B5 is the fast cap version, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so there's going to be some shenanigans there. Oh, B6 is the fast one, so this is the slow one. All right, both in. Oh, and it might also be an old version of the Pro Granary version as well. So Badlands might be a snooze fest if we get that far up, and then we have Granary very last. And I always kind of feel that if you're like a heavy favorite, you want to avoid Granary at all costs, basically, because that can be a really volatile map. Like, it's so easy on Granary to just lose middle and then get rolled all the way into last and lose immediately. And it almost doesn't matter what the skill level is of the teams. It just will happen every once in a while that you just lose rounds like that on Granary. And then if they get this kind of an advantage, then maybe they can get the ball rolling.
Yeah. The order of the maps, especially with ProLands and Granary being the last two maps, it isn't really indicative of the two teams specifically, but more of how Asian players really play and think. Because these two maps in particular, they're really not liked by us. We really don't play them very often. Granary and Badlands in particular, we don't punk them, we don't really play them in scrims that often. I think it's more of teams not being as used to them that they put it at the last two maps. That's really it.
Yeah, alright, so it's just more of just being familiar with and liking maps and just enjoying it. You tend to be better at maps that you enjoy, so I can definitely see why that would be again. What do you say, Viju? Alright, sure. The first map is going to be Process, and as I said, this is a very standard map, and we're going to see these teams start out here. What do you think we can expect on this? Are we going to see like sniper to mid, or a lot of sniper, or will we see weird strats coming out, fast rollouts? What do we got?
You might see, from the side of TCF, you might see a sniper to mid, because they have Banana. He's a really good sniper. He's been playing for a really long time, a very veteran player. Sometimes they do bust out sniper to mid strats. They rely heavily, especially in stalemates, on Banana's ability to get a hero pick or a hero shot, picking off the demo or the medic in stalemates to really break open these fights. So we might see something like that. Probably not. They don't really run it as often as a team like Ascent EU right now. On the other hand, you have, for Xiao, you might see something of really cool, quirky rollouts. Oh, the map changed. You might see cool, quirky rollouts coming from Floaty, the roaming soldier. He's one of the best jumpers in the world. He's a really famous jumper. He's won Division 1 before, and he's really known for these really cool, innovative, fast jumps that can catch teams off by surprise. So I think that's what we can expect coming out from mid. As for specific strats, obviously no one really knows. We just have to wait and see.
Like Process in particular, I think it's worth noting that is one of those maps where there's a ton of speed jumps in. So if you could do some really quick and solid jumps, you can get in really deep. And it's very difficult to really properly stop you. Like scouts have to be really on point to just juggle your way there. So definitely it's going to be some sort of window to abuse extra jumping ability for sure on Process. That's a really good map for a soldier like that to start on. I did also notice that one of the teams, now I can't remember which one because the map reloaded, but I noticed that some of the soldiers on one team both had like 5 and 19 ping or something. Like super low ping.
Okay, Okay, well here's the general information. Basically, every single xiao player is Singaporean. And most of the servers are hosted in Singapore, so all the players of xiao have 5 ping. On the side of TCF, actually both their soldiers also are from Singapore, so they also both have 5 ping. TCF has players coming from Hong Kong, from Malaysia and Philippines, so they have a bit higher ping, but it's not that much to warrant such a huge advantage. But xiao does have 5 ping on every class, so that does affect it somewhat.
That must be so nice just to basically playing in LAN all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Singapore is not known for being a big nation, so like everyone must be just living super close to that server.
Yeah, it's everyone, no matter where you live in Singapore. It's a really tiny island, so we all have 5 ping essentially.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. Is it even worth going to LAN? Like,
yeah, that's why. Like in the AF LAN coming up on the 15th and 16th of December, we're gonna be casting it through Redneck Seller stream, I guess. Every player will still have 5 ping as per usual, but I don't know, maybe some upsets featuring these two teams. These two teams are also coming to AF LAN, by the way. Their players are flying in to Singapore to compete in this LAN. We might see some people stepping up or even stepping down due to the fact that they already had 5 ping, but now they're in an unfamiliar environment. The setting is completely different. Playing at LAN is completely different from online, as everyone knows, so no, that's gonna be interesting, yeah.
Like at LAN, you have to put on pants and stuff. It can be super off-putting, you know.
Yeah.
And also, you know, technically there's like stuff with the computers being different, screens being different. You usually have a really bad chair compared to what you have at home. So there's like just a ton of tiny little things, and it can also just be really nice to just have like your teammates sitting next to you, so you can just like look at their screen and see stuff going on that you would otherwise only be able to tell by calls. And you know, calls are never perfect. So if you can just like look at your scout partner's screen and just see, oh, he's coming in for flank now, I'm just gonna go. That kind of thing can make a huge difference. And we might have a bit more time here to talk because they might be changing servers. You know, they're moving to Hong Kong server instead. I don't know. Just
really? I'm not.
No, I don't think so. They're probably gonna stay in Singapore, but. Man, in Europe, usually when we change server, it's like some German person complaining that it's a Dutch server or something, or a French server, because they want like 5 more ping. But yeah, here, I'm not sure. Maybe the server is lagging or something.
Yeah, it's probably something to do with the servers. Oh, yes, I see. Yeah, just speaking a bit about the AF LAN, we haven't had a LAN in Asia since 2014. Everyone here has never been to LAN as far as I'm aware. Yeah, I think that's right. So it's gonna be a really cool and interesting experience to say the least. No one really knows what to expect. We just wanted to organize a LAN for once after all the hype surrounding Insomnia and the Rewind LANs, and we wanted to have our own LAN, so... Oh, okay,
that's awesome.
Copenhagen, yeah. So yeah, we just decided to organize this LAN.
Where are you gonna hold the LAN at? What's the event?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be held in Singapore. Yeah, it's gonna be held in Singapore the 15th and 16th. It's a weekend, Saturday and Sunday. All the teams have already signed up. We have, I think, 8 teams around there. Quite a few I think about half of them are basically invite or Division 1 level teams with players really flying in from around Asia and Southeast Asia to compete in this LAN and sightsee Singapore and stuff. So it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And oh boy, we do have another connect. All right, so they're getting on cool stuff. Is it like a? Is it just like a net cafe or like a PC bong or what do you call them in Singapore? I'm not sure.
I have no idea. They aren't actually really prevalent in Singapore. In fact, we actually had some trouble finding a venue to begin with. So
Yeah.
It's somewhere. I'm not really sure what we call it. It's just a venue we decided to have LAN at. Anyway, yeah.
All right, so I want to hear a little bit more about just going back on topic into the game here. Who are some players that you are going to be like really watching? Who do you think needs to like step up in this game, and who is just exciting to watch in your opinion?
Well, talking like the most obvious standout players on the server is indeed the scouts of xiao, xiao and Fushi. As I've said before, they have tons of experience. They've played at the very top of AsiaFortress Premiership. They're insanely talented. xiao especially, he's rose through the talents so quickly. His DM is at such a high level, it's really insane to look at. If you just watch his frag videos, it's actually unreal how smooth his tracking and his aim is. I really do think he's a talent that can compete if he ever chooses to. I think he could compete in Invite, he could compete in Premiership in EU. I really think he's that talented. So the scouts really will be the primary win condition for the players of xiao. They honestly, the way they play is that they have the soldiers especially, they take buffs, they make space for the scouts and demo men to walk in, and that's where they really do the damage. So that's entirely xiao's playstyle. It all hinges on the performances of these two star players, and it really works most of the time, just given how talented they are. On the side of TCF really, the player I'm really looking forward to is going to be Lil the demo man. He's tagged up as Smiley right now. That's actually wrong. Smiley's the roamer, Lil is the demo man. They're pulling some 8k shenanigans with Saigai and Dingo in the past.
Okay.
So yeah, Lil I think is the primary win condition for TCF. He's a really talented demo man. I'd say in comparison to Hirasagi, who's playing his first season as demo man in Division 1. He is by far the superior demo man. He has really good DM, really smart decision making. He's proven time and time again that he's essentially the best demo man in Asia, and it all hinges on whether he can have a carry performance. The scouts of TCF are honestly also like the focal point of TCF's strategy, which is honestly a shame due to just how, I don't want to say outclassed they are by the scouts of TCF, or xiao I mean. It's just that the xiao scouts are really good, but that's not to say that TCF scouts aren't really good as well. They are all so experienced. The server is absolutely filled to the brim with Asian Division 1 heritage. So I think the scouts and the demo man for the side of TCF is really what breaks this game. If they can have standout performances, then that's what hinges. Then they'll win. That's it.
Yeah, where's the demo man from? Is he from like Hong Kong? He has like higher ping.
He's from the Philippines. His name is Lo.
Oh right.
Yeah. He's actually flying in to play LAN as well. So hopefully he'll have a increase in ability when he gets to LAN. He actually can. He's really special in the sense that he's managed to perform exceptionally well, regardless of having higher ping than everyone else. So
it's always crazy when you have those kind of players. Like, I definitely remember there's a couple of really notable examples in both Europe and America where people are just super good with high ping, and then they go to LAN and it just turns out that they are just so much better than everyone else. So that is definitely something worth keeping an eye on. And I will agree with you that Aishu is extremely talented, and I casted the AsiaFortress Grand Final, and he was very, very good in that final. Like, definitely very impressive. And he was playing with like 130
ping. Yeah.
Right.
Talented.
So just always, you can just assume that, like, obviously, like, his dodging and stuff is going to be better, and also you just hit better, even on scout. It sounds weird, but I mean, he did get some fantastic kills in that final where, like, on my screen, people were just like so far behind a wall you wouldn't believe it, and you just still killed them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then who was the really good jumper? Was that Floaty?
Yeah, Floaty. He's I think he's considered as a really high tier jumper by jumper mains all around the world. He's won Division 1 before, as has the rest of his team. He's just really good at jumping. He's especially on maps, really open maps like Process and I guess Sunshine and the like. He really has a lot of room to make these sorts of plays that he's known for, going for really cool sync jumps, well, no, not sync jumps, really cool wall jumps, really good speed shots and pogos and stuff like that, to really get really essential forces and sometimes drops. Actually, Floaty, he's really well known for getting the medic pick in such a crucial scenario where it's so terrible for them to lose the medic, but he manages to get that medic pick in the end. So Watch out for that. I think
Right.
he's going to be a really high stakes, very interesting player because his playstyle does sort of revolve around feeding a bunch and jumping right into the combo a lot to make space for his team. And so as a result of that kind of playstyle, he really does just make huge plays just from the amount of times he just dives right into the enemy team.
Right. If you just go for a play 100 times, then like a bunch of times, it will definitely work.
Yeah.
That makes sense, especially if you add some talent into the mix. That will tend to be the case. So I think it's no secret here that Xiao is definitely the favorite to win this, but what do you think is going to be the key here if we're going to see TFC actually make it this a game and possibly win it? Like, what do they have to do and focus on in order to win?
It's really hard because if you think of how you want to stop a team, I'd say try to pick a player from the opposite team and try to shut him down. But in this, it's real hard to, from my personal experience and from watching and playing against Xiao all this time, it's so hard to shut down these scouts of Aishu and Fushi, especially when they have 5 ping and they have all the time in the world and the entire team revolves around them. So it's actually really hard to sort of stop the momentum of this Xiao team when they really start rolling with Aishu and Fushi, really just putting out insane numbers and impact. So I think TCF's if I were TCF, if I was still main calling for them as per last season, I'd really try and focus on everyone else. Because the other players, while I don't want to say that inferior to the scouts, the roster they have is in some ways worse than previous seasons in the sense that they used to have the best demo man in Asia, Cute Man, but now they have Hirasagi playing demo man, and this is his first season playing demo man. And he's been playing pretty well relative to what's expected from him, but not nearly as well as someone of Cute Man's caliber. Yeah. The soldiers as well. Floaty has won Division 1 before, but in comparison to Cloverella, he was also really good. And I think Cloverella was essential to the makeup of Xiao. But regardless, Xiao has shown utter dominance this entire season. They haven't dropped a single map in the playoffs since the regular season ended, so those things really haven't affected their flow. Yeah.
Yes. Wiethoofd managed to crash. Hopefully it's not an update. Just cross your fingers, everyone. But we are going to mid here. It's going to be Xiao versus the Chess Foundation Club or whatever. I can't remember already. But no really fast jumps in or anything on
really
this first middle. Yeah, Low's going to get bounced up quite a bit. Floaty has jumped in behind in the PC area, and he is actually coming out now, and he hasn't really managed to land a whole lot of rockets, but Smiley's going to jump in very aggressive. He gets taken down immediately. Aishu just cleaning up. You know, we're seeing those scouts come into play, and that's going to be enough. They just completely collapse on the enemy team, and now it's a matter of can Slayer actually get out alive.
Yeah, he doesn't get out. Floaty manages to bomb in straight into second, manages to take down the medic, wipes out Lol in the process, and in the end, it's gonna be a full wipe coming out from the side of TCF. This is a horrendous mid. They're gonna be facing full Uber disadvantage. In the upper bracket final on this map, they actually did manage to hold off a really good amount of pushes coming out from the Xiao roster, but they actually didn't manage to win any mids on that map, so they really do have to start changing their mids. But first, they do need to hold off this Uber advantage push.
They've got a heavy to try and set up. They didn't even have time to set up a sentry gun, but Uber's already in the scouts, chasing people into spawn, even getting the kills. Heavy's going to just jump down there, but he's being focused really hard, but maybe not hard enough. There's a single scout on the point, though. Heavy now on it. Soldier's so close. Everyone's just diving the point, and
they
eventually
do manage to get it.
Yeah, just stepped off for half a second, and they got it. That's going to be the first round pretty smoothly there, going to Xiao.
Yeah, it's such a fast round, taking less than 2 minutes to convert that mid win. I guess we're not having a stream yet, but
just trust us, guys. It was pretty quick.
It was pretty fast. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, so Floaty jumps in. Actually, he gets taken down there, so maybe him jumping in very early on could really just act for the catalyst here. Zinazi jumping in very quickly, but Smiley going to get taken down the second time he jumps in, and now we just have this really passive position that we saw before for Xiao, and they're cleaning up really well, and they're just holding this really defensive position so well, and eventually it looks like they're just going to be able to push everyone back as people just slowly overextend, and yeah, with Quick Killer and Banana going down, that's going to be everyone, and Slayer's in the same position.
Out. He's gonna get taken down right at the end stages of that middle point fight. It really is unfortunate that he's going down so late because as per the previous round, they pushed in so quickly into last that they didn't have any time to get heals up, to get buffs up, to get a sentry up. They're going to have slightly more time on this last defense, but this really could be a 2-0 in the favor of Xiao if they play their cards right.
Definitely looking like it's going to be a repeat of the first round, but let's see. Medic is up. He has distributed a bunch of buffs out here, so there's going to be definitely a heal wall coming in. There will also be a sentry gun this time around, so they do need to scout that out and just really take it down early on.
You have the low demo man just taunting, waiting for the push, and they're slowly making their way in. They have this huge Uber advantage. They're gonna be coming in, they're gonna take down the sentry real quickly, and Aishu's gonna be standing on point. They don't actually have any frags converted yet. There we go. Smiley gets taken down. 26 is retaliated in position. This heavy goes down by the spam of Floaty, and they just play the point, and they just cap off to convert to 2-0.
Floaty managed to just jump in up on the high ground, basically in the bunker, and he rained down so much damage, and that just eventually managed to circumnavigate the entire enemy team. Like, he was just standing above, raining death down. That's the power position for a soldier right there, and that's going to be a second round. And so far, these rounds have just been complete rolls because of how the mid fight went. So
really
let's see
need
if
to
they
change
can
their middles.
Yeah.
Smiley, the soldier is not really on the side of TCF, not really making any active plays. Nasi is going to be the first one bombing deep into choke, kind of doing a distraction play. Smiley in turn jumps right into that combo. 26 gets taken down in turn, and this is suddenly a mid-win for the side of TCF, I presume. It's a 4v3, yup, the players of Xiao, they're backing right up. The soldiers of TCF really making a lot of space with these high-impact jumps, allowing the demo men and scouts of TCF to really attack the players of Xiao and convert the mid.
This is such an aggressive push in here. It's like essentially a 3v3 here, and they actually get the Uber out of them, but oh no, Slayer, he will not be able to get out, so he's going to have to force as well. It's not a complete disaster or anything, but if they don't get anything done with this Uber, it could be in a lot of trouble. They do get a soldier, so now it's just a fair fight, and there's a soldier really far forward here, up on the spire. He's fighting these scouts.
Yeah, but it's really dire for the side of TCF. They dropped their demo man really early in the fight, and that just meant they didn't have enough fragging classes to really convert that fight. They probably stayed in a bit too long, and Slayer's going to be taken down for his trouble. Lo actually tries to go in for the medic pick, doesn't really get anything off of it, and that's going to be again a full wipe to the side of TCF.
And we're really sorry to report that Wiethoofd's still not in the game.
Yeah, it's not working.
Alright, Wiethoofd, here's what you do. You close Steam, and then you
turn it on and
Steam,
off again.
and that will fix 90% of things. I don't know. It's a long shot. I mean, just close down everything. And that was my tech support help, sorry. But yeah, Soldier's in really aggressive. Smiley, he tried to find the Soldier
he
kill,
actually
I guess.
manages to trade. And he manages to trade 26. Lo manages to get Aishu in the sneaky sticky trap. They do have an Uber advantage, but the players of TCF, they're actually playing so aggressively, they're trying to convert this fight. They don't actually have Uber yet, so they know this is a really smart play. They're just going to come into second, and they're actually going to force off Tommy. Really kind of a questionable pop coming out from the medic of Xiao. Floaty tries to go in and tries to make something happen, but they're really not getting anything with this fight. Xiao is 3 players down, and they're really going to have to back up to mid. This is suddenly such a good turnaround for the side of TCF. They're going to be 3 players up-ish, and they're going to be pushing it to mid with a full Uber advantage.
Yeah, playing aggressive there just worked out really well. They just had a slight man advantage, and that was enough. So really good play here. Yeah. They're trying to just push everything out, and it looks like Xiao is just all in choke here. So they are in no position to take any position on mid at all. They cannot walk forward, and now we have an actual Uber advantage, a tangible one. And then
watch out, Fushi's gonna be on the sniper class, and he drops Slayer with such a crucial medic pick coming out at precisely the right moment. What a good sniper play coming out from Fushi, a veteran player. And now the tides have turned once again. Uber advantage firmly on the side of Xiao. They're gonna be trying to push into mid. Smiley actually bombs in and takes down Aishu for free. He's gonna be taken down by an air fight by Hirasagi, but it doesn't really matter. The frags are really going for the favor of TCF. I mean, for the Xiao. Ooh, really good force coming out from him. Yeah, Nasi manages to jump in from the back lines, forces off Tommy. And they're gonna be able to take this middle point for free, essentially. Not much of an Uber advantage for either team. Ubers are essentially gonna be even right now, so maybe a stalemate's gonna come out for once in this match.
You say that, but there's like a bunch of players being dead and respawning and stuff. So I think they're just going to take the chance and go in. Yeah, it's just the caster's curse. They will not slow down for anything, not even your wisdom. And they are in, and they've actually done a really good job of just getting so many people forward. But Smiley is in behind. He's trying to get onto this medic, and he hasn't gotten the medic, but he's forced everyone back, and that will actually cause a potential stalemate to get in here unless we see Chess just get in here. And
yeah, they're just gonna go right in. Nasi's gonna be taken down really low. The health not on the side of either team. Everyone's actually so low, and the frags are actually going in the favor of TCF. They managed to convert the middle point, but look at this. Xiao, they don't want to give this up for free. They have Uber, and they're actually edging into choke, but they get right out. They decide against it at the last minute. Yeah. Unfortunately, Wyatt still hasn't connected to the STV, so...
It's very unfortunate. But for once, that's a good thing now, because we are in a stalemate. Don't worry, guys, you're missing nothing. It took about 9 minutes, but we're finally at a place where you're not missing anything. It's been quite a ride so far, but now we can hopefully slow down. And I don't know, can you message them and tell them to maybe change server for next map or something, just so
okay,
you can get it. But that's actually a soldier in really aggressively, and wow, Tommy holds onto his Uber there. There was a soldier right in his face, and he didn't pop it. That's very impressive. That's very difficult to do. And Floaty will try to come in again. Yeah.
Dies instantly. He went for the instant counter sack. Didn't really work out. Lil had traps on everywhere around choke, preempting that sort of play coming out from Xiao. It's gonna be a bit of a reset. Smiley might hold the door out for Banana to go back to stack, but no, he's just gonna come out. A lot of plays that blue team, who's holding the middle point, it's gonna be TCF right now. A lot of plays they can make. They could try to fake a push into IT and sack someone from choke. They could take sewers themselves and have someone go. But no, they're just gonna be sending Smiley in to go for the hero sack. Isn't gonna get anything in turn. But oh my, look at this. Banana actually going down at the choke. A bit of an overextension. Killer manages to take down Floating on the flank. He's taking a 1v1 versus Frishy. Frishy wins that fight. It's his third kill of this life. And an Uber trade coming out from the side of TCF.
Nazi actually gets a ton of done with that.
Yeah.
He killed players and hurt them really bad. So even though and he even gets a scout kill there as well. His medic has gone down, but it's a pretty even fight here. And having a medic in these kind of messy fight can actually be a detriment to you sometimes. You just don't have enough damage. But it looks like they have stabilized just at the end of that. So Frisky will clean up Banana, and the midpoint will go to Xiao. So they are looking very strong right now, and they are just getting ready to go in through this choke.
They're firmly in control of the match so far. They played that stalemate really well. They managed to capitalize off of the aggression of TCF, and now they have second point essentially for free. They're gonna have a 40% Uber advantage. If they want to, they could probably push into last. Based on the match so far, it looks like they will. So the setup from TCF, they aren't gonna have a sentry. They're gonna have Banana and Sniper. They're gonna have Killer and Heavy up on the nest area, and they're gonna be hopefully holding off this Uber advantage push.
It's always difficult. Of course, having a sniper is nice. You can get a really lucky shot in there and drop the medic, but looks like that's not going to be the case at all. Tommy will pop in ample time. He's going to send in a scout very close to the point.
So much cap time.
Yeah, they get that off really instantly, but the heavy up on the high ground, okay, now he has dropped down, and there's even a scout behind him. They're going to take down the heavy. Pressure on the point again, a single scout on it, and that's going to be enough. People just couldn't quite get to it in time. And the push, even though it initially didn't look that good, it actually just bought so much space for them that they eventually just kind of called people away from the point, and they managed to cap it out. And that's going to make it 3-0 in favor of Xiao.
Yeah, the setups, the last defenses really not working out for TCF, but they need to change these mids. They did win the last one, but they need to continue if they're ever going to have a hope of staying in this match. So let's see what they have on this mid.
We've got a double soldier bomb in here. Both Nazi and Smiley gonna get kind of denied, but they didn't die either. Banana's gonna be the first one to go on, but Loyal comes in with a big sticky there, gets a ton of kills, and it was a pretty even fight, but now it's Slayer trying to get out. He
doesn't get the surf right. 26 manages to get a good shot, yeah. I don't know, I'm not really seeing any adaptation coming out from TCF. They tried the same thing that they did last mid. They have both of their soldiers going for really big, really flashy bombs, trying to distract the players of Xiao and have low collapse, and it was working for a time. It's just that the players of Xiao, they regrouped, they got their meds up, they got the heals up, they got the bows out, and they managed to win that fight pretty handily. And once again, Uber disadvantage. Well, actually, I didn't catch that. Tommy went down just now, and a very slight Uber advantage for the side of Xiao. based on Asian TF2, they might just push on this because we do have a tendency to really push off these small Uber advantages, and because we think we're really smart. So who knows, we might see a bit of a really cocky play coming out from xiao, but they're 3-0 up. They have all of the time in the world to really take their time and think of what they want to do. The onus is on TCF to decide what they want to do and how they're going to push out. Alright,
hopefully Wiethoofd can get in here, but I actually don't think you should push off of this advantage. First of all, I don't think they will quite realize how much advantage they have, because it depends a little bit on when people started healing as soon as they spawned, and also it's really easy to kite the super going into last. But we actually do have a scout, that's Fishy, and 26 going in, that's the soldier. They were trying to get some sort of suicide play going on, and I mean, they did suicide, but they didn't get much of the play done, so they're gonna have to just wait for the respawn queue there with the soldier. The scout did get out alive though, and we see a bunch of pressure coming out here, so just they realize what they have to do. Yeah, they get a kill.
Yeah, they're actually grouped up really hard. Hirasagi, he manages to get an air pie onto Smiley. Really crucial play, actually. They were in danger of losing the second point entirely, but now it's going to be an Uber trade on the side, on this second point. The frags are going left, right, and center. Nasi goes down to the scatter shots of Aisho. It's kind of an even fight right now. 26 goes down to the stickies of low. Height advantage for the side of TCF, and they're going to be able to cap off that point. It's probably a sign for xiao to back out, and it's going to be a second win for TCF. Aisho actually goes down to a really crisp rocket coming out from Smiley, and they're going to take down Hirasagi too. He actually trades with low somehow, but I think xiao's going to give this up. They're not going to be able to contest this midpoint.
Definitely not. That all happened because of Wishy just jumping in really aggressively there while push came out, and that just opened up so much space because they were one player down. So Wishy making a bit of a mistake there has caused the to go all the way in here now. So now we got the double soldier bomb in. The medic is still behind the point. He's taking some damage, so this could be a bit dangerous, but the high ground's still firmly in xiao's favor, and Banana going down here, that's probably gonna signal the beginning of the end of this push. And oh, 99%.
They actually get an Uber pop
Slayer,
out.
Yeah.
They aren't going to be able to do anything with this Uber. Nasi elects to actually back out. They actually do drop low. Slayer still is in danger of getting picked off. Wishy's on the hunt. Manages to take him down. Nasi couldn't protect him. He's going to go down in turn. Really bad situation coming out for TCF. They actually tried to push into push into xiao second, when they really didn't have any great advantage for doing so. They were both demos traded out. It was a 5v5 non-Uber fight, so I don't know, they tried to make an aggressive play, didn't work out. Now xiao's gonna have a full Uber advantage. Smiley actually tries to go in to get a force, doesn't get anything. Hirasagi on Demo Man gets taken down, but still a big Uber advantage. But Banana, he gets the sniper drop pick onto Tommy. Really crucial pick coming out from him, man.
Huge, absolutely huge. And now it's just going to be a really aggressive push out here. There's some players trying to go for a back cap maybe. You see a scout hiding in upper PC. Okay, he's kind of spotted everything. So he's making his way behind. He's trying to be sneaky, I think. He could go for a back cap. Okay, he's been spotted and even shot at people. So now they know, but he's still behind and he should be very annoying to deal with. And like, you don't want to send in a scout to 1v1 ISU. That just sounds like a bad idea.
Not.
But Banana doesn't agree. Okay, he does. He was like, should I? And he was like, nah, I shouldn't.
Yeah, it's a classic clockwork problem when he's behind. Do you send one player behind? He might lose the DM fight. Or do you send two people behind? But then you don't have enough people fighting on the front lines. It's really a hard problem to deal with. And look at this. Aisho's on the back cap. They don't actually have time to stop to cap off middle. Really heads up play coming up from Aisho, and he's gonna be able to maybe cap off this last point. No one's gonna be able to stop him. The scouts of TCF actually managing to get into last right in the nick of time. They managed to take off Aisho, but at what cost? They do lose that second point in the end.
He actually, I think that's actually a pretty interesting mistake there. Like he backed off on the point, whereas if he just stayed on the front side of the point, he would actually body block them. He would take more damage possibly, but he would stop them from actually going to the point, and that could buy you like a split second more. We actually have the Uber coming out here. Nasi go down super low and then gets air shot. And then Banana gets piped immediately after, so Hirasagi.
They only just now popped off that Uber. This is such a good Uber for xiao. They're gonna be picking up the soldier. They actually only now just pick him up. He actually trades with 26. That wasn't as good of an Uber as they actually could have hoped for. But it doesn't really matter. They're going to be capping off this point. No one's going to be able to stop them, and it's going to be a 4th round for xiao.
Just Hirasagi doing so much work there. And also just the Uber It wasn't the best Uber in the world either, because the soldier went down to like 30 to or 40 health before the Uber even came in. So then when he jumped off, like he just lost Uber for like a split second, and then he just got piped immediately. But that could have been a scout shot, or it could have been anything really. So it was great force there from the soldier. So now we are on another middle.
4-0 down. Crazier things have happened in the past, but they're gonna have to start winning these middles if they're gonna have a hope. Nasi goes in for a deep bomb, actually gets taken down real quickly. 26 and Fushi go down in turn. The players of TCF, they're so aggressive, they're just collapsing on Xiao. But trades going left, right, and center.
Tommy gets two saws.
He gets an Uber saw, and he actually manages to pop off the Uber. This is a disastrous mid for TCF. Slayer's gonna go down once again, the last player to go down, and once again, such a crucial plays coming out from the players of Xiao. They're actually all individually stepping up. We remember the sniper play from Fushi, this Hirasagi with the crucial air pipes. Now Tommy with the 2 Uber saws to manage to pop off the Uber and win the mid fight.
Yeah, definitely not just a case of one person carrying. It's really cool to see how they're just all doing really well. And they're going to push in here on the Spire. They've managed to bounce the soldier off, and you can see it's a really passive stance from Chess as they're just so far back. And now the soldiers just jump in very aggressively, and I think Gold players might have just get caught out. But at the same time, there's a bit of overextension going on, but they do get Slayer, so can that be called an overextension? Probably not.
They're gonna be trying to fight this. Nasi actually manages to get a crucial rocket onto Aisho. They managed to pick off Slayer, but they do have the man disadvantage. They're gonna be backing out into middle for the time being. The players of TCF actually, they're trying to chase all the way into middle. They don't have much time left. They have to make these sorts of proactive plays. They're gonna actually get middle for the time being. The players of Xiao, maybe they don't want to give this up. Floaty gonna be making the first jump in. The players of Xiao actually coming in really slowly. Hirasagi and Floaty were the only ones in. Floaty goes down for his trouble. 26 trying to bomb in. Nasi also trying to make some proactive plays. They pop off the Uber. And this is pretty good for the time being. Oh no, the players of TCF, they're dropping. They're 2 players down.
Xiao definitely making a lot of headway here. It wasn't the best Uber in the world, but they got enough kills that they still have enough of an advantage that they can push in here. See, Smiley, he's playing very far forward, but it doesn't look like he has too much support to the demo, and really far forward as well. So I'm really nervous right now for Chess because they're just so far forward. And now the medic gets juggled. I think
so
he's gonna die.
Low.
No, just slithers out, but there's a scout behind Fushi. Okay, he's gonna get denied there as well, but he does get banana in the confusion. And now Soul's going to jump in and trade. So that's 26. And now we actually have seen them finally turn it around. And the Uber advantage is also a thing to keep in mind here. As Aishu desperately tries to escape. And will actually
Tommy actually goes down to the bomb from Smiley. It was actually kind of unneeded because they had Uber advantage either way. But regardless, full Uber advantage for the side of TCF. They need to convert this push and eventually the round. 9 minutes left on the clock. 4 rounds down. They need to start winning these rounds right now. And they're taking their time doing so.
Yeah, Soldier's gonna jump in and he actually airshots Floaty there. See you later. Smiley takes down that guy and wins the Roma duel, and even Aisha getting completely demolished by Smiley as well. Just big rockets coming in, just making things happen on his own. So they're really stacking the point right now. They want to deny those spawners, and they're gonna get that easily. And is that another air pipe from Hirasagi?
Just Nasi a bit overzealous. Yeah.
He's just going absolutely huge. Wow.
Uber advantage. Actually, it's a very slight Uber advantage for Tommy. They probably can't push on this. What's more notable is that they have Fushi on the sniper class. They're probably just gearing up for a bit of a stalemate, not trying to push in. But as I say that, they're just trying to go back in. Fushi actually switched off. He's all the way at his own last, but that doesn't stop them. They're trying to go into middle. They're trying to pick off the players of TCF, and they're actually doing a fairly decent job. They're really scared for some reason. They don't know that Tommy doesn't have his Uber yet. Ubers are actually pretty even, and they're just giving it up for free. Kind of a really clever fake coming out from Xiao.
Yeah, this is how you dot push people. You just go in, but now they're gonna do what's not a dot push. This is just a push.
This is
they're just gonna go in here and force out the Ubers, and there's actually a lot of splitting of the Uber on blue side here. So just everyone has just been flashed by Slayer, and fortunately for them, they will mostly survive. But they are kind of weak, and everyone else has just retreated here from Xiao, so they are out to choke. And Floaty, he might think about going back in, but currently he doesn't quite have the heals. Killer does go down to Bridge though, so losing the scout duel there.
Fights happening on the flank. Fushi goes down in the end. He gets traded out. But still, Xiao has control of the middle point, but there's only less than 8 minutes left on the clock. There's still 4 rounds down. They haven't been able to even convert this single round so far. They really need to make something work, or else they're just gonna lose this map entirely.
They have about 7 minutes to get 4 to 5 rounds. Well, you just need 4 to go into overtime,
Yeah, 4
obviously.
rounds, yeah.
But that is a tall order, that's for sure. And especially when you're in this even Uber situation where Xiao, they can just sit back and just have a tea for 3 minutes and they're good. They're gonna win,
Yeah,
right? So
for sure.
it's all on them now to do something. And currently they're sitting back really passively.
They're actually taking so much time. They're not.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the right play at all. Even if Banana gets a medic pick or a demo pick, even if he gets a 3k, it's gonna take way too long. There's no time left. 7 minutes counting down, less than 2 minutes for every round. They need to convert around the next 1 or 2 minutes, otherwise they for sure lose this map. Counting on the spy play, actually no, they're switching to a sniper play, which some could say is even worse. They're just counting on him getting a hero shot, and the problem is it's just taking way too much time. I think this is exactly the indecision, the wrong kind of play that they shouldn't be making at this high level.
Floaty does help them out though by jumping in, being really aggressive, and gets piped down. So that will be 1 man down, meaning that you can definitely make a lot of more space. You see some movement here in choke. Demo Man being pretty aggressive, and the scout tries to get in there, but Hirosaki just immediately deads on him. He opened the door for the sniper.
Yeah, he tried
Alright,
to
that
do
makes
the
sense.
door opening trick that the Lash did at I-63. It didn't really work out. I guess Xiao was anti-shredding that kind of play. But yeah, they're still trying to make proactive plays. Yeah, Floaty manages to bomb in, doesn't manage to get anything, but the amount of pressure they're putting on TCF, it's kind of amazing that it's about 5 minutes. Yeah, they're just wasting the time of TCF. It's starting to get into the realm of maybe this isn't a winnable prospect right now. There's almost no way they're able to get 4 rounds in a span of 5.5 minutes. And this is exactly the problem I had with Banana on Sniper. Even if he did get a hero shot, there's just no time left. He's going for it, he's trying to get it, doesn't manage to get anything, and this was it. That was their last hope. They didn't have any time left. They just need to go and try push or take an Uber trade right now. Fushi helps them out by dropping to Smiley's rockets in IT. But this is so confusing. Why aren't they pushing? They have 5 minutes left. Are they not aware of the clock? There's really no time anymore to win this map at all.
They might have just conceded basically, and which I don't agree that you should do, but maybe they're just trying to play out this map as good as possible and gain some momentum for the next map. That's the only thing I can really think of. But here comes the Uber. There's a bit of a weird Uber if it wasn't for the time, so they're probably playing to win now here. So now the Ubers have come out. Soldiers stuck in pretty deep. Nazi does actually make it out pretty far. He actually makes it out completely. So that was actually a really good Uber exchange coming out here, all things considered, right? Smiley eventually does go down though. So now they're 1 person down. But I think they should just heal up and go back in. And there's even a demo man in pretty deep that they could potentially pick off here. So if they're just aggressive enough, they can get some rounds.
Yeah, they're actually hovering around IT. Their entire combo pushes through the flank. They manage to take Nasi unawares, and they're just collapsing onto the players of TCF. 26 going in for a bomb, manages to get crucial damage onto Banana. Low goes down, but Aisho and 26, they also get taken down, but Killer drops down to the rockets of Floaty, and they're gonna be taking the second point, and any hopes of a comeback, they're pretty much squashed at this point.
Pretty much, but getting a 5-0 victory is definitely in the realm of possibility here, Xiao, and that's exactly what they're going for now. They have an Uber advantage, it's about 30%, so not something that you can very comfortably push with. It's pretty easy for Slayers to just kite that long enough, and this push is actually pretty slow, so I don't think they realized that they had the 30 to 40% advantage there. They're just going to take it slow. They've got Aishu and Sniper. Yeah, that was an 11-second Uber advantage being lost there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't matter.
But at this point, it really doesn't matter. The map is essentially won for the side of Xiao. A very dominant showing coming out from Xiao. It's honestly, they were in control of the entire map. They were winning the mids consistently. The transition plays were really good coming out from them. They even had superior Uber trades at times. Yeah, really dominant performance coming out from them. They're just going to be trying to get some stats up. Nasi manages to take down 26. They might try to get a single round just to get the confidence up heading into the next map. And the 3 players down for Xiao actually. This might be their last chance to get a round on this map.
Yeah, why not go for it? And getting around would be really nice, and Aishu gets destroyed there. Just sitting around on scout. Didn't matter. Like, it almost just looked like a sniper thing where he was sitting around, but no, he was actually a scout. He just got some really good rockets landed on him, and now we have this really aggressive push in here. Banana and Nazi gonna lead the charge in, and Ubers have been forced out, and a slightly better Uber on the side of Slayer. Gonna try to keep everyone alive, and some players going in behind. Smiley unfortunately gets in a little too deep and gets picked off, but Hirosaki was also too far forward, and this is really nice fight so far. The medic has gone down for Xiao, but can Slayer survive? He can. Really nice pipe there from Lurl. Will save him. A single scout is left alive, doing his best dance to stay alive.
Can Aishu do this? He's actually getting so much damage done. He manages to take down Low. That's just how talented Aishu is. Even in the face of 3 players fighting this single scout, he manages to get a demo pick. That's absolutely unreal. And yeah, that's yet another reason why Xiao have been so dominant in this map so far. Every single player of Xiao is stepping up. It hasn't just been the Aishu and Fushi show. Everyone has been just making huge plays, stepping up, doing the play when it counts, you know. So yeah, really insane performances coming out right now.
Yeah, it is. We do still have about 1.5 minutes remaining here. Aishu's on sniper, Slayer's on a full Uber advantage, and looks like they're gonna go far right. And so far, Slayer has made it in pretty far. Oh, barely managed to catch a spam rocket there. He was trying so hard to not pop for no reason, but can't even really blame him. So he gets popped into the air
shot by 26.
It's like a double as well. God damn.
That was real. That was unreal.
You know, and the good part is, I'm pretty sure he was the only one that hadn't made like a big play in a while, so he just put himself on the map as well. Like,
yeah. Everyone has had like an insane play so far, a really crucial pick, something to put in a frag movie highlight reel. So yeah, it's just basically dead time right now. There's no way TCF can win this map. Uber advantage actually for the side of Xiao. They're gonna be maybe getting a 5-0. That would really be something to bolster their confidence to such a high degree. Slayer actually gonna be taken down just standing in no man's land. He actually gets air headshot by Aishu.
Yeah, that was so unnecessary.
Yeah, dude, that was insane. Aishu just air headshotting him, picking him out of the sky. Xiao, they're gonna be taking down the players of TCF. Or are they? They're just going for air shots at this point.
As you should. Oh, and there we go.
Yeah, gets another one.
Yeah. Beautiful. And now
Tommy gets a kill onto Nasi. He manages to Ubersault him.
Get the other one. Get the other one.
And he's gonna get low!
Oh my god. Just out DMing the combat classes. How is this happening? But that's gonna be at 4-0, ending this map on a high note as well. Just a really dominant performance there. And I will say, like, the Chess Foundation, they did have a bunch of really good fights, and they came into some pretty good situations, but at the end of the day, there was just always someone ready to step up for Xiao to just always turn it around.
Yeah, as I said before, I do think it's very curious that Aishu and Fushi, they didn't have that much of an impact as I would have expected. Rather, it was a whole team effort. Every single one of their players stepped up individually. They all had insane plays. Meanwhile, for the side of TCF, honestly, they also... It's not like they were choking necessarily. Everyone was actually hitting their shots, especially the soldiers of TCF. You saw some really crisp air rockets and really crisp directs onto scouts coming out from Nasi and Smiley especially. It's just that as a whole, as a team, their decision making was very questionable, especially in the last 10 minutes or so. They wasted way too much time just dilly-dallying on their second. Weren't really sure of what they were doing. They were just sending random sacks. They tried to go for a really questionable banana play onto trying to get a hero shot, and in the end, there just wasn't any time left, and they didn't win a single round in the entire map of process.
Yeah, let's talk about the logs for a little bit here, because you said Aishu and Fushi didn't like carry or anything, but Aishu he did still top damage, just casually, you know. So that's definitely worth keeping in mind. And then also Hirosaki had an insane game. He went 22 for 7 with 7 assists and 7 air shots, which is really crazy in Demo Man. Like Demo Man, for those of you who know, they never get the most amount of air shots because soldiers will sometimes like wrongly get air shots attributed to them because they like splash off of edges and stuff. So Demo Men never get them because they're actually pretty accurately tracked. But no, he got just 7 air pipes. That's crazy. So he just got like a bunch of 7s. He had 8,087 damage. Yeah, good game for Hirosaki. Absolutely nuts.
A really good game coming out for both sides from the scouts. Well, the demo man, it's really hard to say what TCF should do now because prior to the match, I would have said maybe focus down Hirasagi because this is his first season playing demo man. Maybe try to focus the soldiers of Xiao because they don't have as much cohesion as before. But now, Hirasagi, there could be an argument to be made that he's even the better demo man in the series so far because the plays he's been making so far have been even more crucial than anyone could have expected. The air pipes coming out, they really do turn the tide of the battles because this 100 damage pipe to the enemy's face mid-air really can stop the momentum of an entire T-fight.
It basically just takes one pipe sometimes. It's really crazy just how important it can be. Just that one pipe, it would just completely win a fight, as you said. And one of those maps where that happens a lot is Gullywash. I can't count the amount of times where my team is doing great and then a pipe just randomly hits like 3 players on my team and then a soldier just bombs in and kills everything,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's just all because of that one pipe. And that can happen a lot on Gullywash because people tend to just crowd around in the same area in the choke. And then, alright, we might have to change server or something here.
Might have to.
Yeah.
We might need to wait, we can chill for a bit. But just looking at the stats just real quickly, what's noticeable in fact to me is that the scouts of TCF, Killer and Banana, really not stepping up when it matters. I hate to say it, I really like these guys, but Killer going 17 and 20, Banana, the most noticeable of all, going 11 and 17. These numbers just aren't acceptable in the grand finals of Division 1. These two players, they've been exceptional the entire season all around, but they just aren't stepping up, especially, or at least on this map. They really need to change something in their game. They need to change the way they approach team fights or the way they approach their individual decision making because they need to change something. This just can't be tolerated at this high level.
Scouts are just such an integral part of TF2 teams these days. Like, if your scouts are struggling and the enemy scouts are not, you're probably losing the match. And we're definitely seeing that right now. And I think it's also worth noting that it looks like Slayer had 11 deaths and Tommy had 5, right? So that's obviously really good for Tommy, right? But I like to think Slayer only having 11 deaths, it's kind of low compared to how the game played out.
Yeah, because he even had like 2 drops. So it's actually a relatively low number, but of course in comparison to the other medic, that's all that matters really. And with Tommy only having 5 deaths, really impressive plays, just impressive coming up from Tommy, the medic of Xiao.
Yeah, I do think like Slayer, I think he was pretty good at not overextending. That's not why he died, you know? That maybe happened once or twice or something. But in general, I actually thought he played really well, and I just wanted to point it out as much as I can. Because you gotta give out praise whenever you get the opportunity to, you know? Like, absolutely. So, he's definitely not the problem there. It really just is a matter of being really coordinated and playing tight together, because as it is, the Chess Foundation, they're actually getting some pretty good fights every once in a while, and then at some point they will push in, and then there's gonna be like this big messy fight, and then they just slowly lose that fight. And it's usually because like one person took a 1v1 or they lost a DM fight. And if you can just play together a little more coordinated there, you can kind of outweigh the enemy's DM advantage to some degree. So I think they just need to be really cognizant of that. And of course, if you want to do these very clean dot pushes, Gullywash is a great map for that because it's pretty small compared to basically any other map. Everything's just a little bit more close quarters, so if you have a small advantage, like a 20% advantage, on Snakewater, that's not such a big advantage, but on Gullywash, that can be a big advantage.
Yeah, totally.
Get in real deep.
Alright, so right now we're sort of waiting for the players to just get into the server and begin this map proper. Gullywash, as we all know, is a really soldier and demo dependent map. Demo men especially, they can have insane impact, especially on mid, just doing so much damage at big door if they get a rollout just right. If you look at the POVs of demo men like Habib, it's just insane how much production they can do on maps like Gullywash. And so I'm really looking to Lil to be able to spearhead the comeback from TCF in this series. But honestly, if you looked at the stats just now, he was doing reasonably well. He went positive, he got over 20 kills, he got decent damage. It's just that the rest of his team didn't perform, and in particular the scouts. So I'm kind of worried for the scouts of TCF, considering that this is Gullywash, and soldiers and demoman do perform slightly better on these sorts of maps. So right now they do need to overperform in comparison to what we've seen of them so far.
Yeah, I do think it's probably worth noting that if you just like take the mid fight for instance, and it kind of goes on Gullywash in general, as you say, it's not that scout dominated. There's not like a really obvious scouts will deny your soldiers point on Gullywash mid, right? Like soldiers can come from so many places, and it's not like super high ground anywhere. Like sure, a scout can totally deny a soldier, but there's not like any really obvious places where it's going to happen, and that just is generally applicable to the map. So you have a much better chance of just kind of fighting it out. And I don't know if there's any kind of specific playstyle here of these soldiers that could benefit. I don't know them well enough to really say, because like some soldiers are really comfortable just like walking around in big door and splashing off of walls and just not being like super mobile and airborne and that kind of stuff, whereas others are much more comfortable in the skybox, just up on the clouds, so to speak, where they're just flying around, and if scouts can just knock them down, that can be really detrimental to them.
You saw in the previous map, especially for the soldiers of TCF, they were so high flying, and that was sort of instrumental to their mid wins to begin with. So I'm really hoping that maybe because it's Gullywash, and maybe because they have so many other options to choose from with regards to soldiers on mid, they could go through drop down. There's a lot of cool and quirky jumps you can do on this map as well that are more closed off and stuff. So maybe they can change something on their mids, because it's the mids that they really needed to start winning to begin with.
We saw them just get rolled really early on process, right? And you could even argue that that's just where they lost the game, just giving away those quote-unquote free rounds where they lose the mid-fight, they don't kill the enemy medic, and they lose their own medic super late.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you want to avoid, and that situation can happen on Gullywash as well, because if the medic retreats out through choke, then he has like a super far walk into his own last, and of course they can just go in through big door and cut him off. So that can definitely be an issue on Gullywash, and medics in general, you want to go through big door, but at the same time you don't want to stand in big door. You want to be up in the choke. So like that can definitely just end up happening on Gullywash, because it's kind of defeatist to just stay in big door, so you have an easier retreat. That's not usually what you want to do. There's definitely going to be some decision making there to make, and I mean I think you go into the first mid just expecting to win it, right, and just assuming that
for sure.
you have some sort of plan to win. But I don't know if you want to indulge us with some cool mid strats here. Like how would you play this if you were the main caller on the first mid? What would be your general plan of attack coming out here from the Chess Foundation?
I mean, I don't know. Okay. Well, what I do want to see to begin with is actually some low pender strats, especially on Gullywash, especially because I have this amazing sniper of Banana, and he can hit his shots. Despite going 11 and 17, one of those 11 kills was a medic drop on when they were pushing into last. So I think if Banana is sniping and he's feeling hot, I try and run some low pender strat where you have a sniper and heavy rolling out to mid and do something cool like that. Because unless the team's expecting it or they've practiced against it, it's actually super hard to sort of deal against that sort of heavy sniper rolling out through big door strat on Gullywash. So that's
That's the strat in the Danish community that we call the heavy weapons platform, where you just have you just park the heavy somewhere, and then you just have the sniper behind him. We used to do that.
I remember Lego teams used to do that back in the day.
Yeah, it's a kind of it feels slightly outdated. It's kind of gone out of fashion big time, I feel. I can't remember the last time I saw that in Europe just being played kind of seriously.
I-63 low pender. They still used to run that.
Alright, so they actually did it.
Yeah, but after they disbanded, no one else really did it anymore. So I try to run that sort of strat, but I don't think they've sort of thought through that sort of things. No one's really tried out these sorts of cool, quirky strats in a long time, so I don't expect it to come out here. What's more likely is that they'll just go up their own side, it's gonna be a mirror. Probably the soldiers of TCF will bomb first. That's been the general trend in the two teams' rivalry. And I'm not even sure if that's the correct move, because if you saw in the previous mids, the soldiers of TCF were always the ones to aggress first, and they either get denied super hard or they just be irrelevant in the coming fight. So it's gonna be a really hard decision to say what they should do on this mid.
Yeah, indeed. Like obviously you can just play the drop down like that. That's always a really big component of the Romo play, right? Like because you're always threatening the drop down. That is just always happening, right? Like basically always you just have a soldier on the low ground threatening to go up the drop down, and then maybe he jumps up somewhere else. But like that's always a threat. And that can be really annoying. Another way to approach this middle is to focus really hard on denying the enemy demo, where you put like a ton of pressure on. So you just jump up a roamer, and like if you're lucky, you kill him. But more than likely, and probably better to plan around, is that you just damage him a bunch so that he will like retreat into elbow or back into the choke, right? And when he's in there, he's not dishing out damage and denying the point or anything. So then you can walk across the point very aggressively, and you can just get so much position on them and just play it from there. So that's another way, and it would probably be a good idea, right? Because Hirasagi has been really strong.
Really strong this entire series so far.
Yeah, so if you can just take him out of the fight for a little while, then that could be really strong, and you can do that by having like a soldier slightly jump him, or just a scout kind of rush him, you know? Like, they will probably just like force him back, and then he's not doing things for a little while. But it is also dangerous against the guy because he's been air piping people a lot, so sending a soldier into him might be playing into his strengths. So could be dangerous there as well. And unfortunately, I can't think of a way where you can like effectively focus the scouts. The only thing you can really do is have the demo man focus the scouts in Big Door, because they will usually jump onto the little awning, right? And then
if you sticky that, you can deal 40 damage to both of them as they're coming up.
Yeah, so that's like the only way I can really think of to focus the scout, because otherwise scouts are just kind of hiding behind everyone else like little pussies.
Alright. Okay, well, my personal input actually for this match is that the scouts of Xiao, they actually, on this mid in particular, they do play pretty proactive in the sense that they're going to be hovering near the nipple on the middle point. They actually like to hover around that area, and they like to just peek around and try to do mid shots to soldiers and demo men that get close. So maybe I'd ask Lil, the demo man of TCF, to sort of pre-stick that area, knowing that the scouts will sort of try to aggress real quickly and try to get that space. Because that's the sort of thing they really like to do on maps like Gullywash, on maps like Badland, have their scouts take control of the middle part of the midpoint, and then from there they can deal so much damage due to their aim.
Yeah, that is like probably the best place to deny people as well as scout, right? Where you have some soldiers on the low ground. But alright, we might actually be live. We thought for a moment that Fushi might have banned himself from the server by typing in some wrong stuff, but oh, he actually did. Alright, but he made it through. He got unbanned or something. We disaster averted, and we are live here going into the second map, and it's a best of 5, keep in mind, so we will get a third map no matter what, but this is definitely an opportunity for Xiao to put themselves into a dominant position and going up 2-0, but they only want 1-0 right now.
Anyway, a bit of a chill mid-fight for now. Floaty actually going in for a really proactive bomb, gets taken down really quickly by Killer, doesn't actually do much damage or space for this team, and Nasi gonna be taken out 26. 26 took down Banana just now. Nasi gonna be on really low health, gets taken down by Fushi. Frax going left, right and center, and it does seem like it's going in the favor of TCF. They do have that height advantage. Aisho is gonna be caught in no man's land. It's probably gonna be taken down, but no, he actually trades with Smiley. Then again, it's only gonna be Hirasagi and the medic Tommy gonna be up alive.
Hirasagi's in so deep, he's just not
get taken down. Oh no, Killer, he might get caught out. Oh, actually,
he has some nice movement there to get out. He just barely saved it, and mid-fight will eventually go to them. So there was a lot of overextending going on there, and nobody really got punished for it. But just having all that high ground in the middle of the point, they just really won it for them. And the soldier bombs were actually really good, because they never really like fully committed. They didn't do the thing where you just land in front of them and die immediately. Now we have a soldier bomb in here, and he gets him.
No, he doesn't. He actually does a 50 damage rocket, and Low, spamming from choke, manages to drop the medic of Tommy. A really smart and really good coordination coming out from TCF. But the players of Xiao, they're gonna try and force out the Uber. Nasi gets dropped, and Slayer pops anyway. this is actually not very good. They're still 5v6 down. They aren't getting much of this Uber and they're just gonna back out. So at the end of that really good play coming out from Lil and Smiley, it's just gonna be a reset.
A bit of a wasted opportunity for sure,
Definitely.
but some really good pressure coming in from Xiao. They were in a tough spot there. Just the fact that they were able to get in some people close enough to force out the medic, that's just a testament to their ability to just think on their feet and get in there. So now we have a completely even Uber. It's about as even as it gets in TF2, and they're building it very aggressively on both teams, just scouts hurting themselves just with the Boston Basher. And now we're just waiting to see how they're going to do this. Are we going to get another sorter bomb in? I mean, it worked the first time, right? And of course, the demo man just spamming as well. This really goes to show that a single sorter bomb is not always enough, that you should have a
Always have
contingency
player
plan.
spamming, yeah. What I think would be really interesting is if they try to rotate the combo big door, but they're just going to be trying for a Smiley sec once again. They should be expecting a counter set coming out from Fushi or Floaty on the big door. They're not. Xiao isn't really trying anything yet. Smiley could be just holding the door
Oh, there's a
out.
sorter in. He is trying something.
He
and
actually gets the force out. It's actually kind of a questionable pop, but Nazi goes huge. He actually picks off 26, he picks off Hirasagi. Hasn't gotten the force yet, but the players of TCF, they're just going to be streaming in. Tommy goes down really low, finally manages to pop off that Uber. Low could be caught out in that drop down, it's going down really low. Fushi manages to catch him out. It's a 4v4 fight, it could be anyone's game right now.
She's still in behind. He's gonna get the money flank on, but he's not really hitting the scout or the medic that hard. Okay, finally he starts hitting, and now the bombs come in as well. But so far the scouts have just cleaned up really well. Killer and Banana just
Huge bomb coming up
cleaning
for
out.
26. He actually misses all his rockets, doesn't get much damage onto the medic of 26. Just now in the middle of all that chaos, Smiley actually bombed straight into the combo, manages to take down Tommy. And really good defense of the medic coming out from TCF. Now they're gonna be having a pretty sizable Uber advantage. You can already see the off classes coming out. Aishu on Sentry class and Fushi on Pyro. They're gonna be trying to hold off this Uber disadvantage push.
The center gun is still only level 2, and the engineer is not even close. But there's a Pyro next to it right now. But its center gun might actually just get spammed
He actually just
down.
goes
Yeah,
down
there you go.
anyway.
The pistol
Yeah.
spammed down because there was no metal there for the engineer. He was in spawn, and now they're going to come in. The Pyro is doing his best. He's actually denying a lot of the Zuko.
Oh, so much cap time! And they just manages to cap off that point. They forced all the players of Xiao back into spawn. And they just had 2 scouts on the point, just cap off that point and you win the game, and that was precisely what they did. So really well played coming out from TCF, getting the first round in the entire series so far and taking the lead on Gullywash.
That's a good way to come back, isn't it? Like win mid and then eventually win some clutch fights, and then here we go. We are in middle. Soldiers
Big
in the
bomb coming out from the
skybox.
soldiers. But it's gonna be a bit of a slow mid. We're just waiting for the soldiers of either team to sort of make some sort of bomb. Nasi is sort of fainting to the left. Smiley just bombing in. Both soldiers sort of just bombing left, right, and center. Floaty manages to take down Slayer with a great bomb. But Tommy goes down in return, and it's just gonna be a DM fight onto the mid point. Here, Sagi and Aisha manages to win out in the end. Both medics did go down for both teams, so it's gonna be a bit of a reset. Probably gonna be a middle or a second point stalemate. So, you know, really a messy midpoint in all.
Yeah, extremely messy indeed, and everyone got the exact same respawn wave there. That's pretty interesting. And it's actually even a scout in on second here. I don't quite know what he was trying to achieve, and he does manage to just bait Nazi into dying, and Soda will fly through choke and then back out, because that was an entire team that he just looked in the eyes there. So he will get back out. But the mid fight didn't go to anyone in particular. Soda's in
Oh
again,
my
and the
gosh.
second Soda will come in. And this is so aggressive, and everyone's actually just in, so this isn't a suicide wave, it's a push. The Killer's buying so much time though, and eventually kills himself. Alright. I know, nobody kills Killer but Killer. That's what happened there. But yeah, Ubers are still even. That was just a non-Uber push through a choke. Very interesting there.
And the players of Xiao, they're actually really aggressive in the lobby. They might want to go for an Uber trade of some sort. It would be consistent with their gameplay throughout the entire series, just pushing off that one soldier advantage, just dry pushing. Xiao players, they knew that TCF were really close to the choke, so they just bombed their players in and managed to win that dry push. It's gonna be a stalemate coming out. They're gonna be having a Sentry class TCF. They also have Banana and Sniper, gonna be trying to play the long game. And actually, one round advantage for TCF. They can just play it slow for a while. They can just chill for a while. But look at this, Aisho, he's getting on the cap. Aisho's on the cap. And,
that was just a big distraction for him getting in Riverside, I think. Like,
yeah, but
they were trying to send in a soldier at the same time, but they didn't quite time it right, so or Nazi timed it exactly right, like he sniffed it out, I think. And so they were able to just deny
Banana
it,
actually gets the headshot pick onto 26, and Aisho is still stuck in water. This could actually be a really crucial pick if Smiley manages to get that Aisho pick, but look at this. Aisho, he manages to win the 1v1 in water versus a soldier, and he still hasn't been taken down all this time. He's been in water for like 30 seconds now, and he still hasn't been taken down. And he's gonna be playing the...
He's on point? Oh my god, that was so close. Like, that was so annoying by Aisho. Like, holy hell. I can't imagine just how annoyed I would be if I was...
If he actually lost that, yeah.
Yeah, because... Like you could see they wanted to push out and put some pressure on. They had a man advantage, but he just denied it. And
Nasi actually getting a really nice air rocket onto Fushy, and he actually takes down Floaty in lobby. And Uber Trick gonna be coming out, and the man advantage still in the hands of TCF, but Low actually gets taken down in the midst of that Uber.
It's really dangerous for them to fight out here.
Yeah.
It's really dangerous because backcap can happen if you take these kind of fights. You see, a soldier's going to jump in here. He wants to get onto the medic. He gets a good first rocket, but not the second one. He actually just cleans up, just kills everyone. He didn't get the medic, but he got everyone else. So
and that's it.
About the medic.
Yeah. And Xiao off of the back. Yeah. It was a bit lucky for the side of Xiao that TCF managed to sort of overextend into lobby. They tried to do an Uber trade, but Lil, the demo man, gets dropped in the process, and at the end of all that, they managed to convert the round and equalize scores. So mid fights have been pretty even actually for both sides. So it's gonna be really interesting what's gonna come out. The bombs coming out from TCF so aggressive. Taking down Hirasagi, Smiley kind of collapsing under the combo, decides to jump back. Killer goes down in return from a bomb by Floaty. And 5v5 fight, who's gonna win? Soldier bombs it onto Slayer! Floaty manages to take down the medic of TCF. Also takes down Smiley. Low goes down to the scatter shots of Frishy. Floaty takes down Nasi, and that's a full wipe.
Great mid coming out here from Xiao. They were looking like they might not be able to stand against the aggression. The aggression was like, it was all in.
Yeah,
from
real
Chest
quick.
Punish.
Yeah,
they did not hold back. And it almost worked. It's one of those mids where you kind of feel like if one soldier had landed one more rocket or the demo man had hit a pipe, they would have won that easily. Like, it would have just snowballed out of control, but they didn't do it, and then instead they just completely lose, and now they have this massive Uber disadvantage. You can see Lurl holding pretty aggressively in Riverside. You just try and slow things down, because the more Slayer can build up, the better, and the Sentry Gun can be built up. You just want to slow everything down as much as possible here, but eventually this Uber's going to come in.
They actually take down Smiley really early in the Uber. Sentry goes down super quickly. This is a pretty good fight coming out from Xiao right now. Hirasagi's gonna be standing on the point. He manages to take that up. He takes down the scout. He pipes off the other scout. So much work coming out from Hirasagi in that Uber actually. Really well played by him, I think. And they're just gonna be converting that round super quickly. That was such a fast round.
Just textbook push there. Slowly pushed players down and got all the kills they needed, and then placing a demo man onto the point that can sticky. That's just really beautiful. Hirasagi's not really in this fight so far. He's not really putting on pressure, and he's not really being punished for it. There's a single soldier that's Smiley underneath, and he's going to jump up now. He actually does a ton of damage, and people are just moving forward so aggressively right now for the TFC. And they're doing a lot of damage, but they're not quite getting the kills to show for it either. And we do have Fwishy scout behind. He might go up the drop down here. Yep, he's going to do it with the Boston Basher, and he is in behind now. So the mid is lost, but now he's going to come down to the medic.
What? Tommy just tried to lead the push into choke. He didn't quite have his Uber yet. Maybe he was expecting that he had it. I'm not really sure. In the end, Tommy goes down, Aisha goes down. Low actually gets killed by Floaty, but he's triggered out in turn. But wait, somehow in the midst of all that, Slayer, the medic of TCF, he actually went down somehow. But
yeah, that was the scout and a soldier coming in from behind. It was like a soldier and drop down, so they just teamed up and went in there. So I
see.
think Tommy might have just been yelling at everyone to get in there, and he was like, "I don't know, Tommy, should we?" And he's like, "Yeah, this is how you do it," and then he just ran in. That's my theory of what happened.
That might just be how it went down. But in the end, it's gonna be even Ubers essentially. They're gonna be slowly taking lobby. Yep, they're going to enter through river. We're gonna be seeing hopefully some interesting plays coming out from TCF, some interesting ways of forcing out that Uber. Maybe some cool sacks that we can see. Hopefully not just sack a soldier and have him switch to sniper or something like that.
I'm really interested to see how we haven't seen a crit streak yet, because there's been a lot of situations where both medics die at the same time and it's even Ubers, and that's usually where you go crit streak, right? Like, it's a pretty obvious situation to do it. And we haven't seen that at all. So is it just both teams don't really like it? As Smiley will bomb in here.
Yeah, Smiley tried to get in, gets denied. There's even a sentry on point by Aisha just to like deny anyone coming out through water. And to answer your question just now, no, in Asia teams don't really like to run crits. The only people who like run it are like niche teams or generally underdog teams who have to rely on more gimmicky and more surprise plays to sort of convert rounds. These two teams, they're set in their way sort of, they rely more on just sort of aggressive principles of play. But what is this? An Uber trade actually happening in Riverside right now. Fushi goes down to the scatter shots of Killer. Low goes down to the rockets. What's going on?
Tommy is out so aggressive.
How's he alive?
He's actually in water. And he somehow lives, but Floaty's on 1 HP, desperately trying to get help. He will get it eventually, and somehow that didn't really end up as a complete disaster for either team. It was just so aggressive in Riverside. It felt like everyone was just hugging each other in there.
Yeah, it's a really weird turn of events. I'm not really sure how it went down. Suddenly I turn my eyes and I see an Uber trade happening in River. Huh, weird. And Tommy didn't go down. Really good movement coming out by him. Banana goes down, but that might not be such a bad thing. But look at this! The aggression coming out from Xiao. They get one pick, they immediately collapse into lobby. Manages to get 3 picks of their own. 26 does go down in the process, but it's really for nothing. Nasi, really low above the choke, manages to survive. Floaty actually bombs in, Low's cut out. He actually manages to get back in, but this is gonna be a second point for Xiao. What?
Really nice zoning out there, but now they don't want to give up this point. They actually get
Nasi manages to get the medic drop. Yeah, really good plays coming out from TCF. Yeah.
And then now it's an even fight here. The point did end up getting capped out here, so they're going to have to do that before they can move on to last. But they have won this fight. You can see they're already moving in. There's a soldier desperately trying to get back to last, and he gets taken down. It's a complete wipe, but they don't have time on the point, so spawners will come in, and it is a demo man that has spawned. That's a good spawner to have if you want to defend your last. And they might just have to wait for Uber here, but
I think they do have to wait for Uber. Yeah, it's actually, it was kind of questionable for TCF to even want to fight that in the first place. It's actually kind of lucky that Nasi got a med drop to begin with. But regardless of the decision making, they are in this situation. They have a pretty decent Uber advantage pushing into this last, about 30 Uber advantage. But then again, Xiao, they're gearing up for this last defense. They're building super hard. They have Aisha on the sentry class. And yeah, let's see whether they can hold off this Uber.
And the Uber's going to come in here immediately, just take down the center gun immediately, and the medic gets popped up immediately as well. Gets taken down. Two guys on the point, a soldier and a scout. Going to get jumped now. The heavy's on the point.
But look at this.
Yeah, there's a soldier on the high ground though.
Yeah.
Wow, they actually held it. Clutch. Slayer actually escaped as well, but a great hold there from Xiao.
Yeah, really good hold coming out from Xiao. They just played the high ground. Even though the medic went down really early, the heavy classes, especially the soldiers, they managed to play the high ground. They stood above the point, and from there they just rained down so much damage onto the point and to the players of TCF, and they managed to hold it off. And even though they did manage to get the Tommy pick, Slayer wasn't healing for a really long time, so it's actually going to be even Ubers, basically. It's about a 10% advantage for TCF if they want to push off of it, but it's really not big.
I mean, you almost say that like they're not gonna push off of it, but I think we both know that they're totally gonna push off of it.
They're totally gonna push off of it.
Yeah, there's some fights going on in Big Door. Big Door is usually the big place where things happen when Ubers are even here in Gullywash. And it's just because you can send in a scout behind lines, and you know, if you have a really good scout, you can just
they look like they're gonna push. They're just gonna walk through the big door. They managed to take out Floaty really early, but Tommy has his Uber. He manages to pop it off. No, Banana, Smiley, they all go down. They might have just miscounted the Uber. Slayer gonna be at the choke. Getting taken down by xiao. Nasi gonna be trying a last ditch F onto Slayer. Doesn't really work out. It's gonna be a full wipe. Yeah, it's like we said. They were always gonna push, but maybe they shouldn't have pushed, but in the end, a wipe.
Yeah, it looked kind of silly there because they got forced pretty early on, which is going to happen when you walk through big door, and they up on the high ground, and then when they Ubered up in there, they just got counter popped on because they couldn't use their Uber advantage, which they had like a 20% advantage, but they were a bit too slow to get in there. And then the superior Uber just ended up giving Xiao the easy win in the fight to follow. And that was just basically basic scout cleanup doing the work there. So now we have another even Uber situation, which we both know they're definitely going to push on here.
Well, that being said, Xiao is 1 round up in the map so far. They don't have a good reason to push, but you know, they're gonna go anyway.
It's definitely been the pattern so far. Last time around, we actually did see them.
Oh my
put
gosh,
a scout
they're going
into
for it.
They're actually doing it, man, and they have a 10% advantage. And somehow that has actually worked out. But the Slayer is on 99%. He actually gets it, so he's gonna pop in now. So both of these teams just being so aggressive.
But look at this, only 2 players up for TCF. And 26
should have died.
Gets down, taken out by Nasi. Floaty gonna be standing on the point. Hirasagi with a pretty nice sticky and pipe onto the players of TCF. And yeah, actually, I'm not sure if they just pushed because they wanted to or because Tommy was counting the Ubers, but they just got off so much damage and frags with that Uber. But even though the Slayer popped off that Uber just in the nick of time, it was all for naught. They had enough damage and frags by that point that they were able to convert it around, and the 3-1 lead in the favor of Xiao.
Slayer took so much damage. He actually dies to 2 pikes. He took it direct and then dies to a second roller there. So Hirasaki is immediately picking off the medic. Smiley's going to jump and see if he can get the enemy medic as well. Tommy is still alive, however. He's being chased by a scout. Actually takes him down himself. And that was just a full-on mad dash in to try and get Tommy, but they just got chewed up so badly there.
Yeah, we said before the match, before the map started, that demo men are crucial in this mid-fight, and we just saw that Hirasagi basically single-handedly taking down the medic and just winning the mid-fight from there. And so, once again, Uber disadvantage for TCF. They have to gear up. They need to somehow defend this last push.
Yeah, and Hirasagi, he's pretty weak already, so he's going to have to take a lot of this Uber here. Otherwise, he's just going to take damage, but he's going to force everyone into spawn. Scout's now on the point. Point is also being stickied off quite a bit as well, but not completely, but that's just going to be enough as the Scout walks up back onto the point, and the stickies were still there, and nobody could get to it in time.
Yeah, it's just xiao played that very textbook very well. Gets the Uber, even though he doesn't do that much damage and frags, he just plays the point, hangs back in that area. He knows that his demo man is sticking off the point. He just needs to hover around that area, and due to the point pressure, they just managed to cap it in the end. Killer goes down super quickly again to Hirasagi. But look at this, 26 goes in for the medic bomb, manages to take down Slayer super quickly, and it's gonna be essentially a wipe. The demo man of low, he's gonna be standing in river. Probably just gonna back out, not gonna go for any hero plays, and once again, Uber disadvantage for TCF.
I took a sip of water, and when I looked back up, everyone was dead, as well we'll get Floaty there with a nice little sticky trap. That could slow things down a little bit, so that's nice, but man, that was such a quick mid, and just again, Hirasaki got that really early pickoff, and that just seems, once that happens, they just go all in on the side of the chest foundation, and they just get chewed up because it's just being read so perfectly there by xiao. So now we're going to have another Uber advance going in, but actually,
yeah. So but actually a bit of a questionable decision to push in to begin with, and they're just going to elect to back out. They actually pop that Uber off essentially for nothing. They don't even take down the sentry in the end. Hirasagi is going to go down, 26 going to go down. And yeah, a bit of a disastrous play coming out from xiao. But they're still pretty dominant. Floaty tries to go in, doesn't manage to get anything. They're still 4-1 up. They still have quite a bit of time to play with, so... Hey? A back cap!
The back cap! Oh... That looked so dumb from Tommy, but okay, it makes sense. There was a back cap. I was like, what is he doing? But okay, it made sense. xiao, he's still behind lines, but he turns his back on the scout. Really unlucky there. Banana's going to kill him off very easily. Oh, he got sandwiched. All right. That makes sense. Just a good play there, good cleanup. Tommy has just spawned, so he's not even pumping out heals. There's a full Uber advantage for Slayer. Slayer goes down pretty weak, but he's still on point, and he looks to be pretty safe. And they're just going to go immediately into the big door.
Sniper, Fishy, he's going to get taken down super quickly. Really good by TCF. They didn't get forced anywhere throughout, but Nasi actually gets dropped by Slayer. And they're all on the low ground. This is actually pretty precarious for TCF. They finally pop off that Uber, but they don't have any soldiers to jump the players of Xiao. This Uber isn't actually going to do much. Banana is going to leak through into lobby. But yeah, they didn't do much with that Uber after all that milking on mid. And it's going to be a bit of a leapfrog situation once Xiao get that Uber.
Kind of curious how they're going to play this, because we were sort of expecting them to push out with this Uber advantage, right? Like Xiao, they haven't been ones to sit around and waste away an Uber. I know they're up 4-1, but even with this kind of advantage, they could definitely push out here. They have a 40% advantage, but
and it
there's
does
a
look
really
like
good
they're
position.
getting out. Yeah, they're all rotating through the river. Really smart play. They're just having the demo man stay in lobby and the entire combo is pushing through river. Really proactive bombs coming out from the soldiers of Xiao. And they haven't quite managed to pop up that Uber. Smiley tries to go in for the force, isn't gonna get anything. And they still preserve that Uber advantage for now. Actually, as I say that, Slayer gets that Uber and they're gonna be trading. 26 gets dropped, Tommy missed an arrow, and it's gonna be an Uber trade on second. And Xiao is actually losing out on this one. They're still down 2 from the earlier fights, and yeah, they don't actually cap off that point. Really good, well played by TCF, all in all considered.
Absolutely, and also people got a little bit split up there with their medic on the side of Xiao, so it was a bit of a mistake on their side, but also some good counterplay coming in here from the Chess Foundation. So now in the situation where it's even Ubers, and now I'm curious. We've seen before how they would we saw on the other team where Xiao would go into the water, and we've also seen them just push in and then do a repush, kind of the old school way of using Ubers when it's even Ubers, where they just slowly do it. But yeah, they're gonna have to contend with this annoying heavy up on the high ground. It's not the best spot for a heavy. Yeah, you'll get knocked down pretty easily, but they are actually sending Scout into water. I like this. This is super distracting. You can just pop up onto the point, get some time on it. Once everyone looks, you can jump in somewhere else, or you can just go for a push or whatever. It's just a nice situation there. And he's actually taking a fight against a soldier, and eventually he gets out. So, nothing gained, nothing lost.
But of course, TCF is 3 rounds down, 6 minutes left. It's gonna be a bit of a time crunch right now. They have about 2 minutes for each round. Granted, they are pushing in to Xiao's last, so they have a bit more time to play with, but they're gonna need to get a force out of Tommy right now if they wanna stand a chance of winning this map.
Yeah, and you can tell Tommy knows about it. Like, you can see he's really close to spawn. He's just dodging every spam rocket perfectly. There's so many rockets being shot in here to this area, and they're all doing 0 damage to Tommy. He's just watching this so diligently and just has perfect movement right now. Just moving around it. Really good job by him. And
yeah,
I think they have to get more creative here on the side.
Yeah, Smiley goes in for the classic bomb just to get the sync off, but doesn't actually manage to get anything. But Killer actually goes, he actually manages to pick off Hira with that pistol spam, and this is probably good enough to push on. Like, they do need to go off of something. Yes, Banana actually leads the Uber, but Killer gets taken down in the back lines. The soldiers just bombing into river from the side of Xiao. A superior Uber coming out from Xiao manages to take down the demo man of TCF. Really precarious situation for TCF right now. They're going to be backing out of river, and the soldiers, they're going to be caught out. He actually trades with 26, and is Xiao going to keep pushing? Yes, he is. Floaty actually manages to bomb through. Slayer is such low health. Aisho manages to take down Nasi. Slayer goes down. Killer is trying to go for the back cap, but it's not going to get anything.
Yeah, he's been spotted, so a nice sticky there. And Aisha will even take down Lurl as well, so that's a full wipe. And there's just going to be Smiley spawning here, while everyone else from Xiao will be able to go on to mid and cap that very easily. We even see the demo man maybe try and go for the spawn camp, but everyone does spawn just before, so he's not going to go for that. That's smart. Not going to overextend and die. And a significant Uber advantage here to work with for Xiao. And there's a sniper in spawn. Actually, he gets a body shot onto a scout.
And yeah, this is getting into the realm of impossibility. 4 minutes left for 3 rounds. It's not impossible. You can win a round in a minute, but it's very unlikely, especially because it looks like they might even lose this round and make this a 5-1 score. So Lul actually picks up Floaty with a cool little trap. but they're actually 2 players down still. And look at this, they're already in last. They are still capping off second, and Aisho's leading the Uber, leading the push into last. They only now just pop off their Uber. Slayer goes down, Banana goes down. This looks like a round.
Yeah, once Slayer goes down, that's just curtains, man.
That's it.
They go around the point. Nas is gonna do his best, do his damnedest. He actually stays alive for a really long time, but eventually it's just not gonna be enough, and that's gonna make it 5-1. So game, set, and match. Maybe no, well, not match, but definitely this map is looking really damn secure, and that's gonna make it 2-0 overall in map save for Xiao.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate that if you look at the scoreboard, Low's ping, the demo man, is spiking to 150 right now, and it's a little too late to pause or to do anything right now. The map is already lost, but yeah, we're just gonna be looking at the players padding their stats and maybe going for some really cool, quirky good shots and stuff. And once again, Xiao, they look to be winning this mid. Tommy actually goes down to the point from low. 26 gonna be bombing. He takes down Banana somehow. It's gonna be a 3v4 fight in the favor of Xiao. Fushi going in from the flank. Slayer actually takes him down with the crossbow. But it doesn't really matter. They've already lost this map. Floaty, he gets a really crisp rocket onto Slayer. So
and
low.
Slayer's still alive. He's like on 13 health.
Yo,
somehow doesn't die.
Wow. Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's pretty cool. The focus fire wasn't quite there. Slayer doesn't go down, but yeah.
It's still technically a mid fight here. No time was on the middle at all.
Yeah, I guess they were just trying to pad their stats and stuff, yeah.
I gotta get that med kill, you know? Like, if Fantasy TF2 is a thing, med kills count double, so that's totally what was happening there. And just in general, you know, you want to make sure that the medic is not having a good time. Floaty's actually going to go in here. He was looking for the medic, but he finds a demo man instead. Unfortunately, Lurl has some good pipes and will take him down. There's no real support there. Tommy has taken some damage, so he's going to back out here.
Whoa.
With his pocket partner.
Okay, Smiley almost just died to some sticks that were on the floor. But they're actually going to be pushing into the last of this Uber, a really early pop. Tommy is going to be on 90%. If he just stays alive, he's going to get that Uber, but Smiley actually manages to take him down with some crisp rockets. The fight going to go down, everyone's going to be dead. Only Fushi alive, gets taken down eventually. He actually takes down Slayer, but it's going to be a 2-5 in the favor of Xiao. So I guess it's a bit of a... Yeah, there's actually still time to make a 5-3 if they're really fast.
Yeah, you can do it. I believe in you.
Yeah,
Just Foundation. You got this.
Yeah, it would really be a confidence booster, to say the least. They're gonna be having to make the 3-2 comeback if at this rate.
Looks like 26 is going to jump in very aggressively, and he will actually be able to take down the scout with a little help from his friend, the scout himself. And they're so aggressive right now for Xiao. They have just abandoned all order, and they're just moving forward, and they're actually going to win the mid anyway. It's the Banana getting rushed down here. So now it's an ulti-duo fight between two scouts and a medic.
Yeah, Aisho just so crisp, so good. Manages to take down Banana, takes down Slayer. He is at risk at getting caught out. And he goes down, Tommy goes down. It's just a DM fight, about 15 seconds left in the map. Not much is going to be going on.
Killer killed himself. he was so frag on. He just killed himself with the Boston Basher. Nazi's going to kill himself. It's just a race for everyone to die as fast as possible, it seems like. And that's going to be it. Smite will kill himself off at the very end there. Good job by him. It's going to be 5-2 in favor of Xiao, and they're now up 2 maps to 0, and looking very strong to take this final before we go into the last map.
Yeah, the comeback from TCF in the series as a whole, they're gonna have to win the next 3 maps in a row to take the championship. And crazier things have happened. In the I-58 Grand Final, Crowns actually went down 0-2. They lost Gullywash and Badlands, and then they turned it around to take the entire series 3-2. It was a very close affair, but it could happen, like it has happened before. So there is a world in which TCF do take home the gold, but the way they've been playing so far, I'd say that's pretty unlikely. But hopefully they take at least this map.
Yeah, indeed. We can talk some more about that once we have looked at some logs. And
alright.
Yeah, Nazi actually doing a lot of damage on that one. It's a pretty different picture from what we saw on the first map. No, Aishu didn't top damage, but he did get top kills. He had 32 kills and 13 deaths. That's good.
That's just insane, dude. That's so good.
Yeah. That's very good. and his scout partner was
On 23.
well, yeah, he's doing all right. Just the bottom damage, but the bottom damage being 200 DPM, that's pretty high overall, actually. Usually there's like 170 DPM scrubbed in there somewhere having a bad game, but no, everyone just doing a ton of damage. Banana and Killer had about the same amount of kills and deaths as last time around. Hirosaki, again, having a very high KD. Only 2 air shots this time around, but he is number 1 in the server still, so
Yeah.
all right. Why not? Why not? And Hirosaki actually has the fewest amount of deaths on the entire server, including his own.
Only 9 deaths, sub 10 deaths, so really impressive coming out from him, the decision making overall, especially considering all the hectic mid fights and all the weird chaos that happened in general. So it's really impressive that he only has 9 deaths.
Compare that to Smiley's 29 deaths. He's much more busy. He was flying in a lot. He was actually getting some pretty good plays overall and had good damage output. So I wouldn't chalk too much meaning into that. Yeah, I think it's just he's roamer and he's jumping in a lot.
It's the role he plays on the team. But I don't think this story, like just looking at the stats and how each player performed individually, it doesn't really tell the whole story. Because I still think that the biggest problem that TCF have in, like, the reason why they're getting sort of dominated by xiao so far is the team decision making as a whole. The types of advantages that they push on and the types of engagements that they take, I don't think they're like necessarily very smart or favorable as a whole. And I think the worst, like the most criminal of all their mistakes is what happens when they're under that time crunch. When there's like not enough time left remaining. You've seen this in the last 2 maps in the series so far. They haven't like done anything ingenious. They only had the most basic and rudimentary of plays, and they took their time doing so as well. So that they needed to do a make or break push at the end under not very good circumstances, and in both maps it didn't work out. They just basically engineered themselves into a situation where they had to be perfect or no game, and that was it, no game.
It's not a situation you want to put yourself in. Yeah. So, yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's a very astute observation and analysis of it. Hopefully, though, on this final map, which will be Sunshine, maybe xiao's going to be a bit overconfident here, and maybe they're going to get a bit sloppy and just overextend a bit more. So you can actually hope that the situation can get better just because of the hubris and the going on, right? So that's definitely a hope. So if you don't get into the situation where you have to be perfect and make really good decisions in a very short amount of time, and you can just kind of slowly think it out, while the enemy team are maybe getting a little bit frustrated because now they're not winning anymore, and maybe they're just being a bit too sloppy and got overconfident, that could make things a lot more manageable. And so that's probably their best hope right now.
Okay, so Sunshine, I don't really have a lot to say about this map as a whole because teams in Asia, we don't scrim this map as often as we'd like to. I actually really like this map a lot. I think it's pretty cool and quirky. The lighthouse in the middle point valley is really cool, and I think the lobby into last is pretty fun in the sense that Uber trades are really fun here, especially as a pocket soldier. So it's kind of similar to Process in the sense that soldiers do have a lot of room to make cool, fast and high bombs. So I'm gonna be looking out for that on middle point. The Demo Man, I don't think have... Right? Yeah. It's like, there's so much room and so much airspace to jump around in comparison to a map like Gullywash.
Yeah, but you mentioned the Demo Man?
I'm not sure how you guys feel about in EU or in like other regions of the world, but Demo Man, it's kind of hard to have early presence on this mid in comparison to something like Gullywash. In Gullywash, the Demo Man can do so much damage in the first 5 to 10 seconds of the middle point, but on mid it's sort of weirder, sort of like Process, right? In a like how fast you do the rollout isn't that impactful in the grand scheme of things. Like if you look at
it feels like Snake Water Middle a little bit. It's like even longer than Snake Mid. Like you have to charge your stickies even more, but it's kind of the same thing where like you can't spam them out when they all come through a door.
Yeah, for sure.
It's very difficult to do that, and That's more doubly so here. But there is the high ground that you can contest pretty well as a demo man, right? Like one of the things you want to really avoid having happen is that there's one or even two soldiers standing on top of the bell tower on middle, just shooting down at your team in choke, right? And the easiest way to prevent that from happening is one, sending a soldier up there yourself so that they're going to be pretty weak or get bounced around or not be up there at all, or two, just have your demo man lob up some stickies. It's a pretty nice angle. You just get stickies up there and deny them and make them go away. So that's definitely something that the demo man can do, but of course if they're not immediately up there, then like you're not really doing anything. And as a demo man on this map, it often feels like you're doing nothing. And that can be pretty frustrating, but you can definitely like walk over to the right side, and then once you do that, you can pretty easily spam the area around the flower entrance area, where a lot of people tend to stand around, like on the little high ground and even in the choke kind of thing as well, in the entrance. So you can definitely get in there, but you have to walk in pretty far to get there because it's a very open middle. You can see a lot of things, and so if you're just spamming them with stickies from long distance, they just like take 2 steps to the side and don't think any further of it, and then just walk into you and kill you because you're a demo man. And the stickies are not exactly, they can be a bit unwieldy. So demo men, they don't really have that big of an impact on this middle just by default due to the way it is.
For sure.
So I guess one thing we should mention on this map is that there's actually quite a few spots on this map where you can like hide above chokes. Wall bug. Right, so over like on the second point, where you know there's like over on the right side there's a lower entrance and then there's a higher one that kind of leads into the same spot, like down some stairs. You can actually hide above that doorway, like up in over the roof. You just float there, and you can do the same thing on the left side as well at the shutter door. So and you can see the soldiers right now in the server.
He's even
jumping
trying
up
to
walls.
do it.
Yeah. They're just not doing it in the right spots right now. It's like above the doors, pretty much. You can do it.
Yeah.
So that definitely something to keep in mind. We can see that the soldiers are aware of it. It's one of those things where it's a pretty new thing, and then slowly you're just gonna get used to it. Where
it slowly becomes the meta and stuff.
Yeah, and so it's not really a big deal. I've never really bothered. Like there was some post on TFTV about like should we ban these things, but I don't really see the point because
I mean, we have to wait and see until if it gets more commonplace, and if it's a really big problem, then we have more of a discussion about it. In Asia especially, very few people actually bothered to learn how to do them. Floaty actually does them sometimes in scrims. He actually hasn't done it in a match so far, so I'm curious if he's actually going to pull them out. He's certainly more than capable of doing them. Anyway, we're going to be heading right into this middle point. The mids on this map can be sort of long and messy because both teams, there's so much space on the middle, there's a lot of room for teams to maneuver, so it could often end up such that they just mirror each other and it's sort of a waiting game to see who makes the first move.
And we are in here. If Xiao win this map, they will be the winner of AsiaFortress Cup Season 14 Grand Final in Div 1. And that would be a 3-peat, right? If I'm not mistaken.
This will be the 4th season in a row. Yeah.
Oh, 4th season. Alright, okay. So we saw Floaty up on the high ground there. Didn't really do much of it. And he's going to be jumping in into the flank area again. So both teams being kind of passive right now. Floaty is behind line, which means he can't help his team for a while. And now there's a lot of aggression coming in here. And Tommy will actually get caught out. Just the lack of a soldier there.
But the bombs coming from Floaty. He manages to knock Slayer off of his perch. 26 manages to get the frag on Slayer, but at what cost? Fushi is actually going to be able to take down Killer, but Nasi, his 3rd kill of the middle so far, gets him in return, and it's a mid-fight win for TCF. Pretty handy for them. They did manage to lose Slayer in the end. That's pretty unfortunate, but pretty good coming up from them.
Yeah, and see, this is the situation where I'd say this is a really obvious crit streak situation where the enemy medic dies kind of late, and then you will get the situation where you can go into flowers and crits, right? That seems like a really obvious crit situation to me, but they're just not doing it. They just prefer not to, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they don't.
Yeah, but on that middle, it really just feels like it came down to Floaty jumping that far behind, and he was really far behind for quite a long time. And then while he was doing that, the Chess Foundation did a really smart thing where they just bombed in very aggressively. They just completely ignored him, went forward, got a ton of space, killed a bunch of players, and then once Floaty came back in, they could clean him up with some trouble, admittedly. Like, he actually managed to bounce the medic.
Oh my gosh, look at this. Yeah. They're actually counting their Uber so well. They know that Slayer doesn't have their Uber yet. A bit of an early pop coming out from Tommy, but they do manage to pick up the Demo Man and the Soldier from TCF. TCF do have this Uber advantage, but I really don't think they can push into middle, so I think it's a really smart play coming out from xiao. They managed to trade 2 players for the point, and now they're going to be playing the leapfrog.
Unfortunately for them, they didn't get the Uber Force out. So Slayer, he got out alive. They still need 2 players to really get in here, and there's actually a lot of pressure coming in. If they can get the Force out of Slayer, that would be a really nice situation here with xiao. It looks like they've missed their opportunities, and now they're going to fall back just to try to spam people out as they go in here, and maybe you just kite the Uber, then go back into
yeah, because they're taking such a long time to push. They only now begin to push. They actually take down Floaty super early, and they don't get the force off. xiao goes down super early too. They haven't yet popped off their Uber. Tommy is going to get it, but he's only on 90%. This could be disastrous for xiao. They haven't even kept off that midpoint, and they take down 26 all the way in lobby. They do need to be wary of that forward spawn. They haven't yet kept off that midpoint, but it looks like they're going to be able to take second for free. So really aggressive and proactive plays coming out from TCF going to be working out. Nasi going to be a bit hung out to dry. He gets dropped super early, but
the force comes out. Yeah, they got the force out. They don't have second cap yet, but they are working on it, and so far Slayer is just holding on to this. But that actually worked out really well. Just the pressure coming in, playing extremely well here. xiao. They even had a Soldier Floaty in there behind as well, who got picked off. So just everything working out really well right now. There's this single scout in. No, killer. That was such a bad decision there to go in.
So mistimed, yeah. And honestly, they could wait for Killer to spawn. They had that much of an Uber advantage, but they're just gonna elect to go in, and this could go disastrously wrong. So many off classes to deal with. They actually take down 26 super early, but they haven't dealt with the heavy yet. It's still gonna be taken down, but it's so late. It's gonna be anyone's fight right now. It's gonna be a 3v4. Heals on the side of TCF. They do take down Floaty in the end. xiao though, he's on the back. He comes in and wipes everyone out. He actually gonna try to chase Slayer down.
Oh, the back cap!
Killer just comes in. Overextension from xiao. Killer just walked in through the right side and just kept off that point while Hirasagi was resubbing through spawn. xiao was trying to chase down that Slayer medic pick, and in the end, a really heads-up play coming out from the scout of TCF. They managed to pick off that 1-round lead.
He's got the medic in his sight. He had to get him. And they really came back to bite them there. Great play by them. Banana also did a lot on that mid. And so far, both teams, they are just having a bit of a standoff on this middle. Once again, we see Nasi gonna jump behind. Floaty has done the exact same, but Floaty doesn't go behind this time. He's gonna jump in there and get a kill immediately. So they're doing really well. Loyal's in very aggressively, not really hitting anything, and eventually he's gonna get picked off here. So now it's just an even 3v3 fight with slightly better heals on xiao.
But Slayer is disconnected from Killer. Yeah, Nasi's in the back line, so on really low HP. He actually gets a really good rocket onto Tommy. He even like helps out the frag onto 26. Tommy's on such low HP, it's actually a bit of an advantage to the side of TCF, and yup, they win the... Oh, but look at this. Tommy, he's gonna get the Uber really soon, and they're still trying to contest this. It's gonna be a toss-up as to who wins this. Smiley and Banana, they're just entering the mid-fight. The spawners of xiao are also coming in, but xiao gets taken down super early. Floaty gets... Oh, Fishy gets dropped as well. Smiley actually takes him down as well. That's so good from him.
Smiley in the skybox.
Oh my gosh, Hira.
Yeah, gets taken down by Hirasagi. Great job by him. And just a bit of an overextend there by xiao. Got a bit too confident. This could be the hubris I was talking about.
True.
Trying a bit too hard to just style on them. And Floaty actually gets Goomba'd, but he will still make it in there to try and see if he can take down the medic. He will find Banana instead. That's a good pick up. And the Demo Man gets juggled and destroyed as well.
So much damage coming out from 26 and the rockets. He just collapsed onto the combo. The Soldier of Nasi, he kind of overextended into second. The entire team sort of overextended. They didn't have much of an advantage to push on. They tried to flood through choke, but it's super tight. If a Soldier can just catch you there, or the sticks of a Demo Man can just squash you there, you're gonna get destroyed, and that's exactly what happened. Not much of an Uber advantage for anyone. Slayer actually has a very slight Uber advantage, so it's gonna be really interesting to see whether TCF decide to push on this. It doesn't look like they're ready to push, and it's probably gonna be a stalemate, but we never know.
Sunshine is not really a map where you can use small advantages as well as on
Yeah, it's so
Gullywash.
large. Yeah.
And the chokes are pretty small as well, so just spamming it out is pretty difficult. Like, the only flank that's somewhat good to push through from second to mid is Flower, and that's still not great. It's just get pretty close before the
Floathy
spot.
going in for the sack, but he actually gets a pretty cool air rocket onto the scout. But nothing really happened. The scouts, they were super expecting it. Smiley goes in for the counter sack. Their scouts were also expecting that. It goes down pretty easily. But then again, it's still a 1-round lead for TCF. They are still on their second. It's a pretty dodgy situation. It's not a big advantage in terms of rounds. So they're just going to be holding on tight. I think that Xiao throughout the entire series have shown that they have better plays in these stalemate situations. You saw just now that they rotated their combo into Cafe to distract for a bit before sending their soldier to sack through the choke. Probably the experience from AsiaFortress of Hirasagi, from Frishi, from Aisho, that they've sort of learned these sorts of more nuanced TF2 plays. Meanwhile, TCF, they haven't really shown that sort of depth. So really interesting. I really hope that they'll do something really cool. TCF, I mean Xiao. Yeah.
Well, so far they've gotten the soldier pretty far, and he's got the medic on him as well, so he's just getting fully beamed and ready to walk around this corner. Wow, he got denied.
And Floaty
really hard.
going in for the bomb. Doesn't get anything, he was already low HP. But Frishi manages to take down Smiley on the flank. It's gonna be a 1v1 even trade right now. And not much really
like
happening.
Nice strat from Xiao, right? Because they had a soldier and a demo man and a medic going really aggressively in there around the corner, so they could have just initiated a push and then the soldier jumped in while they were being super busy there. But now we got a medic coming in here through the flower area, and they're guys are gonna just initiate it.
So much of a better Uber coming up from Tommy, a really late pop. Nasi is going to be shredded out in the back lines, he's going to be taken out super quickly. Banana goes down as well, Smiley takes down Fishy, but the players of TCF, they're collapsing all around. Low is the last one to go down, Slayer is going to be the last one alive. He's going to be eventually taken down. They still haven't kept off that second point, but it doesn't matter, they are just going to be on to last. They're spawn camping, Banana is actually going to be on that pyro class, but this is definitely a round.
Yeah, he's going to try
have I spoke too soon? Have I spoke too soon? Tommy goes down, 26 goes down, Nasi and Smiley alive, but it doesn't matter. They still cap off that point pretty handily, and scores are equalized.
Yeah, they at least managed to get your pulse rising a little bit there.
A bit,
but eventually, you were right in the end there. Really strong push coming out. They're just crushing it with that Uber. And again, it was just kind of a bunch of really good aggression going. Floaty is in pretty deep very early on. Doesn't see the demo man though, so the demo man kind of being slow there saves him from being jumped by the soldier, it seems. And again, these last couple of minutes we've seen both soldiers try to jump behind, but this time around they're gonna meet each other in the bell tower. And finally Nasi will get into that situation that he likes so much in the flank area in Flower. And he is just wrapping all the way around. He's gonna be finding the demo man.
Smiley actually getting air shot a bit. I should have taken him down in the end. Hirasaki actually goes down to rockets of Nasi. It's anyone's fight right now, a 5v5 fight. A soldier's gonna be the first one to initiate. The soldiers of Xiao, they're doing so much damage. They just bomb right into the combo at precisely the right time. Tommy, he's gonna be focused down by TCF, but Nasi, the last one alive, is gonna be taken out eventually. Really good defense of their medic. 26 bombed right into the combo, takes down Slayer, and eventually they just win the midpoint.
Yeah, either 26 has like really good decision making, or Xiao has really good comms. It's impossible to tell, right? But like he shot exactly who he was supposed to be shooting. Where like I think most people would have shot the medic there, but he just shot at the demo instead, which was 100% the correct move. But if you don't know the health, that is a very difficult decision to make. So like either he has really good decision making, or they have good comms. I don't know.
It's probably a mixture of both. They've been playing together for so long, like 2 to 3 years, and now they're gonna use this experience. They're trying to convert this last push. Aisho not gonna be able to get any cap time, but they're actually getting a decent amount of frags. Oh.
They got the frags, but they didn't get the two people on the point. They were just standing there. And that's going to be enough, and that's going to make it 2-1 here for Xiao. So we're making it in a good position here for them to take them out. There's still 19 minutes remaining, so don't get your knickers in a bunch. It's not over yet. And these middles, they have been pretty pedestrian. They kind of take their time to get going.
They're really long and chaotic fights. Maybe someone's going to initiate super quickly, No, they're just gonna be mirroring a bit. Actually, TCF's gonna be taking a bit of an initiative. Slayer's going down really low. Nasi is also super low. Health not in the advantage of TCF. But
That's
look
just
at
really
this.
good position though.
They have
Airshot
so
the demo man, just perfect flank come in. Now the medic's on him and he gets the medic as well. So Nazi, even being that weak, they just didn't quite realize this. So that would seem to counteract my they have good comms theory there, because they had no idea, it seemed, even though he took so much damage. He just perfectly came in at the right time to just destroy the flank.
The health was super low for the side of TCF, but it doesn't matter. Xiao didn't focus the correct players, and in the end, they all wiped. And finally, TCF, they finally have a chance to sort of equalize the scores. They have this uber advantage. Let's see if they can actually convert this round.
They're going to go in from their own left side here. That's pretty interesting. Normally teams will go into the other side, but Nasi going down to Fwishy, that's going to make the Uber a lot more squishy. They need to get in here. The center gun is still up, by the way. They haven't managed to focus it down. Okay, they used Switch class. Alright, but they got so little with this Uber, and now it's just collapsing, and everyone's dying, and Slayer's the only one alive.
Slayer could get out. They're all on the chase. Soldier's gonna be bombing in. I don't think he's surviving this. No siree. Nasti's gonna be bombing in. Takes down 26. He's gonna survive in the end, but you know what's like, it was so interesting that TCF didn't get a single frag in that entire Uber. They dropped Nasi super early to the headshot from Fushi, and then it all collapsed from there. Now Xiao's gonna be pushing into mid. Fushi takes on Nasi. Smiley gonna be bombing straight onto Tommy. Doesn't get anything. Aisho, the trusty pocket scout, takes him down. 3 players down for TCF. They're capping off the midpoint. They're gonna be stacking it to deny forwards. Yes, they are.
Nasi could get caught in limbo, but no, he actually gets the forward response. Nice.
I just managed to.
For him. Yep, that's really nice there. So that's going to be slightly more presence. We're going to enable them to more easily force an Uber out, but we'll see it's still going to be very difficult. You can see the entire team is playing super passive, and they're just not able to get enough spawners and do enough damage on entry.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that they didn't have any time or players to sort of stuff Xiao. They're going to be just heading straight into last. Slayer is on 85%, doesn't quite have his Uber yet. He's gonna be like stuck in the spawn. They're just gonna be playing the point. Low goes down, no sticks on point. If they can get this Uber, this could be all worth it, and it is. Tommy goes down in the end, but at what cost? 3 players down for TCF. If Xiao wanted to, they could push right in. And that's precisely what they're doing. Hirasagi, he manages to take down Smiley. Floaty goes in, Aisho goes in, and just Slayer on point, and that's it. Wipe from the side of TCF, and a round for Xiao.
Really good re-push there. It's always funny to see a soldier just directly bomb at a heavy. You kind of feel bad for the soldier, but it was obviously just a coordinated play there with the scout who did manage to take him out, and then the demo man came in as well, so they just combined on him to take him down, and even the might of the heavy just couldn't deal with that kind of aggression. So really nice re-push there. They kited the counter Uber pretty well and managed to get back in here, and it's going to be a double
so much
bomb
fighting around the hoodoos. Yeah, both soldiers bombed around that hoodoo, but in the end, the soldiers of TCF won out in the end. They're still gonna be trying to fight this. Xiao, there's still gonna be 2 players down. Aisho is gonna be on such low HP. It's gonna get eventually taken down, and this is another convincing mid fight for TCF. They won the previous mid with such a heads up play from Nasi. This mid they also won pretty convincingly. Smiley actually goes down, maybe a bit of an overextension. And now they can't really push into second. Yeah, it's gonna be another sort of stalemate on mid fight, on the middle, so...
I didn't like that decision from Smiley to go in there alone. He just got denied so easily. He had like 70 HP and he just cratered, and that's never a good look. And there's still some pressure being applied here in choke, but I really don't see anything really coming of it here. The medic is just never in any danger here for Xiao, right? Like, he's not gonna die from choke. You have to have like the luckiest pipe alive there from Lurl. And I've actually noticed that both of these demos, they're using the stock pipe. That's so unusual.
I think they're only using it for this map. It's because like in Asia we are aware that the stock launcher has advantages on certain maps, especially Sunshine and Process to a certain extent. So I think that's the sort of thing they're thinking about.
Sort of gets air piped talking about it. It's completely destroyed there, but I'm curious to hear what are the advantages of the stocks pipes on Sunshine?
Well, it's just that like they can roll, like they can roll and they can go further. Those like you know, like you can shoot over the arc because the choke's arc, yeah. The invite demo man.
I know granary mid, for instance, pipes are better in my opinion because you can spam them over the
that sort of thing.
The crates, right? So yeah, I guess it's that kind of thing. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. In Europe, I think everyone just uses the round pipes
Iron
just all
bomber,
the time. Yeah, they just use it all the time.
It could be that Hirasagi, he just wants to use his Australian. he just wants to use his Australian.
Yeah, the force scout coming out here is a really nice jumping there from 2060. We'll die for it. Now the counter Uber comes in. Asia will get a good cleanup kill here eventually, but they've scattered pretty well here on the chest foundation, so they are looking pretty good.
Two players behind. Yeah, 2 players of TCF behind. They actually managed to take down Fushy on the back lines, and they're gonna be starting off that back cap. Killer goes down. Smiley's probably gonna go down. He's going to go for the bomb onto Tommy. Oh! Nasi manages to come in and clean up Tommy. Nasi and Smiley all go down, but an Uber advantage for Slayer, but only if they can keep him alive. The players of Xiao, they're just flooding right in. Banana, he's gonna have to do some work. Fighting off Aisho, doesn't manage to get him. Low actually takes down 26. He also takes down Hirasagi. He trades with him, but oh no. Aisho,
oh no, Aisho's still alive. He's like 10 HP. Okay, finally he will get taken down. But the second scout
a bit of an overextension from him. Tommy's gonna be spawning up, but since he's the only one alive, he's not gonna be healing anyone. Yeah, and a bit of an overextension maybe from Xiao, all trying to get onto the medic when they could have maybe kept off the middle point. In the end, it's gonna be a really hefty Uber advantage for TCF, just the opportunity they need to sort of try and get a lead into this game in the end. In the previous last push, they couldn't really convert it because Frishy sniped Nasi off super early, and then they didn't get a single frag in the Uber, so their focus fire, that's what's gonna make this push.
They're gonna go from the other side this time around, it looks like. This is a more normal spot to push with Uber advance, and the medic's actually pretty far forward here.
Oh,
Tommy
no.
might not make it out, but no, it's the same exact thing.
And they
player gets sniped off.
And look at this, Floaty with the flank, he takes down 2, including the medic. Nasi manages to get him in the end. But again, such a terrible Uber coming out from TCF. They dropped low super early to the sniper headshot. Killer got dropped somewhere else. Floaty goes in with a big flank. It's just
even
these last pushes aren't working out. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like everything that could go wrong in a push just went wrong. It was like all of them. Like you can get someone sniped off, you can always do a sentry gun.
Yeah,
oh my god, the floaty.
Spy.
Oh, no, Smiley, sorry.
Yeah, Smiley goes in, tries to go for the sack, but that might be a bit of a distraction play. They do have Banana on Spy. He's actually on top of the Hoodoo. He's right there.
Oh,
he decloaks,
no.
But probably
right
he just mistimed that.
Players.
Completely mistimed that. 26 goes in. He manages to get saved by the Uber pop by Tommy.
Slayer's
Killer's gonna get called out. Slayer's gonna get caught. This looks like a round.
Just not really reading the situation correctly. They're just being too far forward. Smiley's in behind, gonna try and be a hero, but instead he just gets completely piped to hell in oblivion.
Yeah.
He's going down. Everyone else has gone down 4-1, and once again Xiao just taking a commanding position here with a 4-1 lead.
It's been such a recurring thing through this entire series. TCF is pushing into the last of Xiao. They completely whiff it, and a coast to coast, Xiao manages to win the round just like that. So the mid fights have actually been going well for TCF, so they just need to continue on that streak, and they still have a chance of coming back this map.
And immediately it's gonna be 26 going down. He was pretty aggressively over at the Hoodoo there, and the rest of his team are just so passive here in choke. Like there's a single scout in, but he's surely gonna get picked down. Yeah, Aishu just going in completely alone. He didn't get the memo. Everyone else was just out in choke. Just after losing 26 so early on in the middle, everyone else just kind of stayed back in choke, and they just never moved from it.
A bit of an indecisiveness. They weren't really sure of whether they were gonna fully commit or fully get out, and they just half-heartedly just sort of stayed in their choke. Again, a really convincing mid-win coming out from TCF. Honestly, they've looked pretty solid in this entire map. It's just that they haven't been able to convert these last Uber advantage pushes. If they figure that out, then they could have even taken the lead in this map so far.
Yeah, the mids are completely fine. That is definitely not the issue. It's just these last pushes. They're gonna send in Smiley. He's gonna get denied again. I think that was another air pipe coming out from Hirasagi, just denying these jumpers in. Like I think it was like the 3rd time in a row where he just denies him Aishu's going to go in for the counter sack. He will get taken down as well. It got sniffed out. I think he tried to walk up those stairs or drop down or basement or cellar or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Didn't manage to get in there, but it's fine. And no sniper or anything here in the counter, the queue. So it's just going to be regular old cookie cutter TF2 on the push here. And that does give you better pushing power in a pinch. And there's about 8 minutes remaining to get 3 points, which is very doable.
It's kind of interesting that once again we are stuck in this situation where TCF are about 3 to 4 rounds down. They have a limited amount of time to sort of win all these rounds back. In the previous 2 maps, they weren't decisive enough, but this time they're trying something different. Instantly, they're just going for the Uber trade, and it's going pretty okay. They soloed Nasi, but Banana gets taken out on the back line. Smiley actually trades with him. So it's a 5v5 fight right now. Nasi goes down right as I say it, so now it's a 4v5 fight. They're gonna have to back out of lobby, and it's probably going to be a reset. Xiao isn't really in a position to push, but
they might be able to bait them out here, you know? Xiao, they like to go out and just be aggressive and take these opportunities to make plays.
For sure.
They don't like sitting around. They are going to have a sniper. It looks like someone else is going to open the door for him, maybe. Might see Floaty just move forward there and open up the door to enable Fushy to get a snipe off. We'll see what happens. So far, he's just sniping inside the door. He might have been spotted as well. It's going to make his success rate a lot smaller. But there we go.
They actually do have a sniper of Fushi, and he's been so dangerous in these last defenses, just picking off players left, right, and center when TCF wants to push into Xiao's last. And I don't know, TCF, they just haven't shown any creativity when it comes to breaking stalemates. They don't have any method as to, or any shred, or any even attitude that they want to do. Like, they just have a soldier sacking in, and that's it. They just have a soldier sacking in. Like, that's fine to a certain extent, but with this time crunch, you need to bring out the big guns. You could send a 2-man sack, you could do something else other than just Uber trade in.
Well, here comes the Uber trade, and so far it's not much of a trade. Okay, the counter actually did come in from Tommy. I guess he did to save one of the players. He wanted to make absolute sure. So he actually could have held on to that, but it would have been a bit risky. So being ahead,
Aishu actually manages to go down. Nasi managing to output so much damage. Lowe's actually gonna get caught in, gets kind of baited in by his team. It's gonna be a huge team fight on the last. The combo of Slayer and Nasi doing so much damage right now, and they could just win this team fight. It's gonna be a 3v3 fight. Hira manages to take out an air fight, but Nasi with the 4th kill. He manages to take down Hirasage, and they somehow managed to convert that last push. Really messy TF2. I wasn't really sure what happened to spark that push to begin with, but whatever they did, it works out. 5 minutes left, 2 rounds to go.
It might have just been that one guy was dead, so they could walk in. Maybe they spotted where the sniper was and moved in on the other side. You said he killed people left, right, and center, and he hasn't killed anyone center. There's a slight correction there.
Alright.
They haven't pushed there yet. But yeah, Soldier's going to jump in pretty aggressively into the garden, but he gets taken down there. So Slayer has gone down as well, though. Both medics are dead. Now it's just a DM fight.
Oh my gosh.
Just add Sunshine mid. What number is that? Is that even a thing?
It's not even a thing.
Okay.
It's well, killer. Then. It's a 1v3. Floaty is on really low HP. He's going to get taken down first. Ooh, but 26 with a pretty nice rocket. Takes down Killer. And right at the point at which they needed to start winning mid-fights, they just lost it. Tommy did go down as well, so it's gonna be even Ubers. But only about 5 minutes left, 2 rounds, it's gonna be really tight.
Indeed it is, and it's about 4.5 minutes to get in here. Uber advantage, you can push really early on. With these Uber disadvantages, right? Because then Ubers are just not going to be a factor. They're not going to get it. So you can't just kind of dry push it and take a normal fight. You can kind of consider it a mid-fight where they start out with a small advantage or a big advantage, depending on who you're playing against and how prepared they are. But you can take this fight. And yeah, look at this. They were actually moving forward, but again, they're kind of dragging their feet, and I really feel like that's a mistake. They do have 4 minutes to get 2 rounds, so
it's not a lot of time.
No, but it's not time to panic either.
Yeah, true.
So they look like they are trying to push.
Yeah, they're taking the proactive decision. They're actually gonna Uber pretty early. Lowe's actually gonna jump in for some reason. He manages to pipe down Hirasagi. 5v4 fight, 6v5 fight. They don't have any demo for Xiao. Tommy goes down to Smiley, but the frags, they're just going in the favor of TCF. Fushi and 26 alive, and they managed to take down Slayer. Nasi's gonna be the last one alive. 26 pretty hurt in the valley over there, but he's fighting against a scout and a soldier. It's not gonna happen. It was looking so good for TCF. They managed to get their super early demo pick, but they just couldn't convert. Fushi, like the post-Uber positioning and fight just managed to favor Xiao in the end, and this could be a round for them even. They're already on second. TCF, actually Smiley's gonna jump in, he's trying to contest, but there's no one with him. He's the only person contesting the second point, and he's gonna go down, right? Yes, he's gonna go down.
26 is pretty weak, so he couldn't quite go forward there to help very much. He has gotten an arrow now, and now he's really far forward. Actually does a ton of damage to the sword, and Nasi gets picked off, and the second point has gone out here. I mean, I will say, we were kind of complaining about how the Chess Foundation were not making that good decisions in the earlier map, but they are making the right decision.
Yeah,
right
I think it's like they've definitely adapted, but it just isn't working out so far for them. Xiao's gonna be pushing right into that last. Slayer actually manages to surf it and survives in the end, so Xiao's gonna call off that push. But look at this, 2 minutes 27 seconds left in the map.
Tommy is just turning his back on the soldier right next to him. He actually managed to surf away. That was pretty hair-raising. And Tommy's on 40 HP. That's like drop to a random spam rocket territory. He has to be very careful, and that will slow down the push. And now it's 2 minutes for 2 rounds.
Now is the time to panic.
Yeah, this is definitely time to panic. Do like double spy and no, that's too slow. I guess you just jump out there. You just Uber out there and hope.
And that's what they're trying to do. But so much damage. Low's gonna go down to really low HP. And look at this. They only just now popped off that Uber. 26 is gonna be in that lobby. It's not actually doing much with the Uber. Nasi goes down. Banana goes down. Killer goes down to some really crisp rockets from 26. And that looks like it's the series done.
That's gonna definitely be the end of hope for the Chess Foundation. Once again, we're gonna see Xiao take another victory, the 4th in a row. So just absolute dominance for them, and they played exceptionally well.
I'm not even sure. It could be 4th or 5th. I'm not sure.
Who's counting at this point?
It's just the era of dominance extending 2 to 3 years even. It's just been so monumental right now, and they're just continuing it despite losing several key players in their roster. It doesn't even matter, they just adapted their roster. The versatility of players like Hirasagi, he was traditionally a pocket soldier, then he was the medic for Xiao, and probably the best medic in Asia, then he turns to Demo Man, and he's so good on that as well. Really impressive stuff coming out from them, yeah.
Like, pretty annoying people, to be honest. Like, just doesn't matter what they do, they're just really good at it.
Hira especially, alright.
Alright, I'll take your word for that. Looks like they're actually they're gonna do a center push. No, yeah, they are. They're gonna do a center push. So they have a chance to get sniped here in center.
2-6.
Alright, and they even used Uber there at the very end, so it's gonna be 6-2 there. Even some just rubbing it in a little bit there. I don't think anyone was really playing too hard there at the very end.
Yeah, they were all in Stakey Jumper and stuff. It's all done and dusted. Xiao is gonna be the AsiaFortress Cup Season 14 Division 1 champions, continuing their streak of dominance yet again into another season. No one really ever doubted it in the end. And they're just gonna take this series 3-0. Very dominant performance by them. The scores will be... What are the scores? Let's check. It's gonna
3-0, right?
Yeah, I mean 3 like on the.
Oh, so it's like it was like, if I remember correctly, it was like 4-0 and.
Oh, it was 2-6-0-4, and on this map it was 2-6. So very dominant performance coming out from Xiao.
There's really only one way to beat this team, I think. So at AF LAN, right? What you do is you get them drunk, and then you have your demo man have super low ping as well, and that's
you know what's the problem? Oh, it's just the problem. It's like some of Xiao's players are underage as well, so you can't really get them to drink. Yeah.
Right, so you spike their lemonade.
Oh no, food poisoning.
Oh yeah, you serve them Mexican food. That's what you do.
Easy.
I don't know how many Mexican restaurants you have in Singapore, but find one and find a really bad one.
Yeah, we'll get some. So we can just look at these logs real quick to see if it helps our interpretation of the series so far.
I'm beginning to think Aishu might be a really good player. Just like a hunch.
So
you know?
good.
Yeah, he had 32 kills, 11 deaths, top damage once again, almost
32
10,000
again?
damage.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He's definitely getting a bump in TF2 metrics.
Oh yeah, I need to pay more attention to TF2 metrics. I just haven't done it. I always like see people commenting on it on like Twitter and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I should check it out," and then I forget about it. But
Yeah,
I need to look at
they
that.
post weekly. It's pretty interesting, like the stats and stuff. Anyway, looking at these stats, it's just across the board, really good performances coming out from Xiao. What's notable is that even 26, he got 29 kills and 15 deaths. Really impressive for a soldier in this sort of era of scout dominance. And everyone's sort of stepping up. I think Nasi's sort of a exception to the rule in the sense that on TCF he did have pretty decent stats and performances the entire series round. Smiley, once again, is going to be topping the server with deaths with 31 deaths. That's kind of crazy. So
Yeah.
not much to say. Looking at these stats, it's just once again Xiao players all stepping up individually, and I think as a team they also performed better. TCF definitely performed marginally, well not marginally, I think they did well, like better than previous maps on this mid. I mean on this map they had better mids, they showed slightly more decisiveness and they were slightly more proactive, but in the end they just couldn't convert, especially those last pushes. Fushi was so crucial in getting those headshot sniper picks and it just stomped the push from there.
Yeah, won the first two mids, lost one, then won the next three. So that is just such a good start to a map. I can't remember what the stats are, but if you win the mid fight, there's like a 70% chance that you win the round, I think, just from that. And that's such a big advantage, and just the fact that they weren't quite able to take advantage of it is pretty heartbreaking. But I mean, I think there's some pretty definite things that they can improve on, and that's not just get better DM, right? Because that's kind of a nebulous goal. It's not something you just improve, but like improving your last pushes and improving your middles, like those kind of things are pretty easy to kind of approach and get better at, because it can't just be a matter of going over them and saying, oh, okay, so you jump behind in this middle and then they came in, so you need to stay closer and blah blah blah, right? Like there's a bunch of little things where you can just go have a plan and then you can execute that really well. Bad teams can win middles against good teams all the time because they have really good coordination and it's very chaotic in nature. And if you can take the chaos out of it to some degree, you can actually have a really big advantage. So yes, things to work on there.
Yeah, for sure. Really hoping that this TCF roster stays together even after AF LAN. They're definitely, despite what the scores and the series might suggest, they're definitely the second best team in Asia. They've always made it to the grand finals. Every other team that's tried to topple them from the second place pedestal, they've always failed in the end. So it's still really impressive for them to make the grand finals, and these guys, they really are talented. I do think there's a mix of players that we can form in Asia. There's definitely some talent that's not on these two rosters that we can do to finally topple Xiao from that first place. So really hoping something will change. But other than that, let's look forward to AF LAN, and we have interviews coming up. I asked Fushi. Fushi said that Aishu Hirasagi and himself wants to come. I don't think anyone from TCF wants to come. So I asked yeah, we can just do it with them. So maybe you can give them the Mumbo info and... Oh, they're here already. Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're just waiting for you.
Whoops, didn't see that.
Yeah, I guess we should just start off by saying a big congratulations to Xiao there. So congratulations, and should we say congratulations to Aishu first?
Yeah, congratulations, Aishu. Thanks for carrying.
Yes, Xiao is actually just like a clone of Aishu, so we play for him, you know.
What? Just give me heals.
Easy, dude.
Yeah, so now you're a champ both in AsiaFortress and... No, wait, you didn't win in...
no, Xenophobia lost to Jasmine.
I got second.
Bad luck, but good performance either way. How important is the ping issue in your performance, you think?
I just can't 1v1 soldiers, I guess. It's just hard to dodge spam, especially in maps like Product, I think. It's just annoying to play in high ping.
Yeah, okay, I guess I'll start with a question in AsiaFortress, I guess. At the beginning of the season, you guys had a different roster with Hirasagi on Pocket and all the other stuff, especially because Cloverella and Cuteman left. How did you guys still manage to be so dominant in spite of all these roster changes and stuff?
I think Hira can play demo decently, so it's not a bad substitute.
Yeah, he's
And so
slightly
he's-
above Div 2, come on.
Like I'm actually just whatever the team needs, right? Like I've played every single class on this team already at this point.
I don't
Yeah,
think you've played Scout.
Try it out.
I played
At
Scout.
some point.
Cool, I guess.
I mean, it helps that we were terrible when we first switched, which is why we actually had to keep scrimming. Actually had to put time into improving and adapting to moving Hero to demo.
Well, with AF LAN coming up on the 15th and 16th of December, considering that TCF are also going to be there at LAN, do you have any expectations of what's going to happen? Do you think it's going to be a repeat of the dominance you displayed tonight, or do you think something else will change? Easy.
We're looking to take them down for permanent this time.
What?
Either do you have any
mean,
questions?
Yeah. So you guys won the first map pretty easily. Were there any of the maps tonight that you were more worried about than others?
Probably Sunshine. We did not scream it at all. We just played it like a pub, I think.
Oh
So
my
just-
gosh.
How much strats do you guys have, like in general, on other maps that you actually do scrim on?
Strats? Like, what do you mean?
Like a set play. So if you want to force the enemy to use Uber or something in a stalemate situation, do you have like plays that you can go to, or do you have like different mid fights that you can utilize, or are you just kind of playing it by ear?
Yeah, on maps like Process and Gully, I think we did practice a bit, such as like the sacks on Middle. We do have a few variations.
All right.
Well, I guess the most interesting thing to ask would be, do you think there's a mixture of players / any roster that could potentially topple you guys? Because you've been so dominant for the past year and a half that it seems almost unlikely that any right mix of players can topple you guys or even challenge you significantly.
Honestly, I think TJ just needs to start making teams again. TJ teams have always been... They haven't always been top players, but he's managed to bring, tier 2 players into competing Div 1 teams. And
Me and
honestly, his
Fishy-
team looks pretty decent.
Yeah, let me have Fishu once under his care, his guidance. And we all came from him. We learned a lot from him. So if TJ can form a team again, teach people once again, maybe there'll be an uprise of talent,
Maybe
Oh, shit. I'll ask him at
TJ
LAN.
TCF would be cool.
Yeah, we'll ask him at LAN, I guess. We'll beg him to make a team with us. Alright, do you have any final questions? I already know most of what I wanted to know.
Are there any prize money or stuff
Nope.
for this season? No. Okay. So I'm not gonna. All right. Well,
LAN there is.
oh, okay. So that can be the big payoff. Nice there. But I'm not gonna ask you what you're gonna spend all the money on. Then you haven't won it yet, so don't want to promote gambling or taking things for granted. But no, I guess I'll just say congratulations once again, and let's do some
Thank you.
shout-outs. So Aishu, do you want to give some shout-outs?
Shout out to my team and TFLives for casting this. Also Clover, I guess. That's all.
BMD law.
Fishy?
Alright, here we go. Shoutouts to my team. Shoutouts to the AsiaFortress community. Shoutouts to everyone here for casting. And most importantly, next season we will set up a Patreon to pay for our servers because we do have
what?
a little bit of a financial struggle. It's not really a struggle, but it's to allow us to pick more, it allows us to pick more consistent hosts. So if you want your AsiaFortress Hong Kong servers, potentially Taiwan and Japan, maybe Japan, yeah, please contribute. It's $5 a month. I think you get a cool Discord tag, but that's up to Nata. And yeah, see you at LAN. Shoutouts to friends too.
And Hirosaki.
Alright, shout out to the people who produced the game tonight. Shout out to the opponents, my team, Clover. Shout out to friends. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I guess that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, so yeah. We will do shoutouts, Wiethoofd, don't worry about it. You're just getting it first. Big shout out to Wiethoofd for apparently having his nose in every single scene in the entire universe, and just organizing these casts and games for all of them is really cool. I'm hoping I can do the big caster bingo of all the different finals. We will see. I don't know who's going to be casting the ETF Tour finals, which will be tomorrow.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, definitely check that out. That should be huge. Also, there will be an AsiaFortress Intermediate Grand Final tomorrow. So that's probably a better time zone for you guys for the most part. I'm not quite sure when Egypt comes around there. But yeah, definitely check it out. And then there's also potentially an award show for AsiaFortress on Tuesday. And who's going to be there and whatnot, you're just going to have to tune in to find out. But yeah, from everyone here, thank you guys all for watching. Thank you, Killer, for casting with me. It was a true pleasure.
Thanks.
And it's just really fun for me to get a view into another scene where there's a lot of very obviously talented players and a pretty different and more aggressive playstyle from Wiethoofd. So that was fun. Yeah, I guess you get the last words, Killer. Take us out.
Killed. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, thanks to
Killed.
Wyatt
Sorry.
and Vita and TF Live for letting me cast with them. It was pretty fun to manage to cast the grand final when Alex isn't here. Shout out to Ifan and the R% gang for hanging out with me. You guys are pretty cool sometimes. And yeah, that's about it. Subscribe to AsiaFortress Discord or whatever, and subscribe to the Patreon.
Yeah.